Sports 1140. It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. We are back on a Monday. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We got Kings basketball that happened. We got Kings basketball that's about to happen. We got NFL to go over. The Niners back in action this upcoming week. Week isn't over yet. Still got Bucks taking on the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. Was it a good week for the Niners? Well, they got healthy, but the NFC West, they did some damage as well. So we are back to some Niners talk, but of course, plenty of Kings talk to get through as well. And NFL talk. The Raiders clean house. The Vikings, Chris's Vikings, take care of business. There was drama in the 666 with one DeMar DeRozan and Drizzy Drake. Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty solid weekend. And, we obviously have a big week ahead of us here. And, just ready to kind of get as always, ready to get the week underway. And, excited for some Kings basketball tonight with its last leg of the long road trip. And then back here for, I guess we can call it a revenge game on Wednesday with Davion back in the building. You don't know if Aubrey Graham is showing up on Wednesday, if we're going to get Kendrick out there. It's shaping up for quite a week already.
You think one of them might actually show up? Okay,
I don't. Drake has been he went to a game at Sleep Train when him and DeMarcus were more friendly with each other. But since then, we have not seen Drake in Sacramento.
Yeah, I heard Dave mentioning it, and I'm thinking,
there's no way.
I mean, anything is possible, but I don't really. What is Drake going to just run up on DeMar while he's? I mean, probably this type of stuff is so hold me back, bro. Yeah. It's so hold me back, bro. You're lucky he's holding me back, bro.
Tell me he wasn't going to charge him in front of 17 to 18,000 people the other day, huh?
Ridiculous. And
they were just going to start brawling at center court.
I mean, the whole thing is when DeMar talked with Sean Cunningham, the whole thing was that DeMar wasn't saying he was done with Drake. He was just saying, I'm cool with both of them. That's how he approached it. But, Drake is going to – the thing with Drake is you're going to pick and choose because there are a lot of people in that video. There are a lot of people. But, I mean, to be fair,
a lot of people at that concert,
there are a lot of people at that concert. So you cutting everybody off. I know he
LeBron?
He unfollowed LeBron.
Sure.
I think I did see that, or he didn't shout out LeBron when Team USA won or something like that. It's all very high school. It's all very Degrassi, if you will. But this is where – that's where Drake, that's where he cut the mustard to start off. And you have Nate behind the glass for us today, doing a great job
cutting the mustard
as he typically does. Chris, real quick, let's get to some Sunday night football, and then we're going to get to the Drake beef. Cool. We have Raiders cleaning house. Kings weekend. I'm telling you, Mike Brown, don't tick me off, man. I have a lot to say about what happened on the court. I don't care about this Drake garbage. I'm worried about what happened on the court, Chris, because that was their first bad loss. Yeah. To me, that was their first bad loss. So I can't wait for 11 o'clock. The Kings are going to get it, okay? The Kings are going to get it, and we have the Trey Lyles dilemma, why it looks like Trey's been playing well in certain aspects and why it doesn't look like Trey Lyles has been playing well. But I text you, Chris, immediately when Sam Darnold threw possibly one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen.
Par for the
and
course.
What did you say? I hate him.
I can't stand him. I just can't stand watching him be the quarterback of my favorite football team. It is torture. It's terrible. I have to hear for weeks, and I felt like, I guess it's been a couple months at this point, people say, oh, but Sam Darnold, he's actually played pretty well. And I keep coming on these airwaves every week and telling you, watch the games because homeboy is keeping these games a lot closer than what they actually need to be. I mean, yesterday it was a 7-7 7-0 halftime, and the only point of the game was off a Sam Darnold fumble. And I know Nate was trying to make me feel better this morning and say, man, Sam Darnold is getting abused back there 2 straight weeks.
Yeah,
he gets hit in the head and in the face mask area and no call, nothing to show for it, and 2 pretty costly plays. I get it, and I do agree that both calls should have been made, but he's just been playing so poorly that I frankly am not going to tell myself, ooh, if this play goes better, then maybe the game goes better too. I've just been incredibly frustrated. But saying that, I will say the Vikings defense has never looked better in the past, 8 to 10 years. This is one of the most exciting defenses that I've seen this team have. And, I don't think that they're destined to make any crazy noise in the come playoff time. I do think at the end of the day, a lot of these teams have something that they're really good at, whether it be offense or defense. And I feel like, the Vikings just are a little bit shorthanded in the quarterback department. And it feels like, from a defensive perspective, you can maybe figure them out if you're prepared for what Brian Flores might throw at him. But I've loved how the team has played, but man, the quarterback play at points has definitely left me wanting more, to say the least.
I don't think he's been playing that bad. I don't know what it is. I mean, he does have a cannon, though. He's got an absolute cannon. And maybe that's why
he can throw the ball.
Maybe that's why I'm falling in love
so
with
does Anthony Richardson.
Sure
that
does.
doesn't matter.
Sure
even when he
Jameis
throws
Winston.
interceptions, I'm thinking that's a pretty interception. I tell people
right in the end zone.
Yeah, it could have hit. The guy who actually picked it was one of two people who could have caught it.
Yeah,
picked it off.
I tell people I'm the prettiest double bogey golfer you've ever seen. That's Sam Darnold.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's a double bogey, but it sure is pretty.
Oh yeah. He'll hit it into the trees, but that second shot, oh man, perfect. He's gonna 3-putt it,
right?
But it's gonna be, you're gonna talk about that drive he had. Oh man, and then the recovery, and then oh my gosh, that sand save was beautiful, but still ended up being a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, so, he's just got a lot of potential there. I
don't think so. I don't think so.
How many times did they show JJ McCarthy?
I was not counting, but it wasn't enough. I could have seen more of him. That's what I'll tell you.
Well, on the other side, in our top stories, that's in the 1 o'clock hour. Anthony Richardson, that situation. Chris and I have gone back and forth about whether the benching is good or bad. Adam Schefter dropped a ridiculous stat based on these guys and how they get benched, and it basically highlighted how I think a lot of people feel when you do bench these guys. And I'll put it to you like this. It's not good news for Anthony Richardson. Guys that get benched by the team that drafted them, they do not do well. So we will give you the exact specifics of those stats later in the show. But as we get to that other side, Chris, I mean, Joe Flacco, I know Brian Flores, hashtag that scheme is crazy. I know Brian Flores, that's a ridiculous defense, but the Colts, I don't know if they had egg on their face, but definitely not the showing that I think with the world watching, the NFL world watching, the product that they wanted to put out there when deciding this could have been an opportunity. What if Anthony Richardson goes out there and figures it out on a Sunday night and this turns the whole season around? I saw Joe Flacco who looked old. I saw Joe Flacco who looked like a backup QB. So again, if you're going to destroy someone's confidence and what's done is done, you better do it for a guy that's really going to turn this thing around. And I know a couple times where Joe Flacco came in, he has looked good. Maybe it's more about the Vikings defense, but I don't think that was the showing that the Colts wanted last night.
No, not at all. I've got some numbers in front of me here from a Colts beat reporter. He said 6 points, their lowest total of the year for the Colts offense. 0 red zone drives, obviously their lowest of the year. 13 first downs, their lowest of the year. 227 yards of offense, their lowest of the year. 0.35 EPA per play, their lowest of the year. The problem is Anthony Richardson could have done that. And that's where you start to lose the argument of, and as I was making all last week, like, hey, at least you'll be a competent offense and you'll be able to move the ball, get some productive drives and actually look like a football team if you have Joe Flacco back there. But with those numbers, again, like you might as well put now, of course, hindsight being 2020, but if you're going to put up the worst offensive numbers of the season, you might as well do it with your future of quarterback, maybe learning some lessons along the way, maybe having some positive moments. If you're going to put together performances like that, which I know, again, that's the anomaly. Joe Flacco has actually looked pretty decent in the games that he's played before last night, but the performance of yesterday was absolutely a really, really tough argument for the people who are against Anthony Richardson. And I think, again, if you're going to be putting up the worst offensive numbers of the season, you might as well do it with your young, exciting quarterback who maybe could have had some moments that make you feel good about where things are going. But last night was not productive for the Colts at all.
You want to hear their next 3 games?
I guess. Yeah. What are they, 4-5 right now? Go ahead.
They host the Bills.
Okay.
Week after
that's
that,
a loss.
They go to New York to face the Jets.
Okay. Who knows?
And then they host the Lions.
I mean, that's not easy.
So what are we doing?
It's not an easy 3-game
What are we actually doing here if you are the Colts?
Right. No, for sure.
After that, I mean, then you're in December after that, Chris. You go to New England to face the Patriots. You go to Denver, and then you host the Titans. You go to New York to face the Giants, and then you host the Jags. So maybe they see if Joe – what I would do –
Joe Flacco through the hard games?
Yes, literally.
The easy games.
What I would do is play Joe Flacco these
it.
next 3 games, and then assuming you lose those games and you're cooked, just let Anthony Richardson play the next 5.
That's honestly not a bad strategy at all. I mean, at that point, you can say, hey, we gave Joe Flacco a month to kind of get things going, and nothing really happened. You could argue that they could very easily go 5 straight losses here. And then, yeah, I mean, Patriots, Broncos, Titans, Giants, Jags, that's a pretty easy stretch for Anthony Richardson. And like you said, if their playoff hopes are already cooked at that point, it's a really good opportunity to just have him go out there and let it all go, be free, and, you know, get some positive momentum going into next year. And if he doesn't play well, if he continues to look like the Anthony Richardson that we saw at the beginning of the season, maybe it makes it a little bit easier for the Colts to move on from him. I think it would be tough with how it's currently constructed. If he doesn't see the field again this year, you kind of have to say, well, we're going to give Anthony Richardson the shot at the start of next season. But if you give him a month and some change to kind of get that spot back or try and earn that spot for next season, then maybe it's a little bit easier of an offseason. Maybe you can trade him, get some assets back for him. I saw over the weekend there was some teams that have called the Colts about Anthony Richardson's availability, so maybe it makes it a little bit easier to move on from him if you just give him essentially a rope to hang himself with.
Yeah, so after all that, we do know this. Whenever Anthony Richardson does play again, he should be well rested. So he should not be tired as he was a couple weeks ago when he tapped his helmet and Cam Newton, and a lot of people were not a fan of that. Well, Chris, hopefully the Kings are well rested. They were in Atlanta, then they had to go up to Toronto, and now they're all the way back down Miami. I will say this, the schedule makers didn't do the Kings any favors, and we're only paying attention to the Kings because we are the flagship and home of the Kings. But I would just assume that every NBA team has a weekend or a weird quirk that they're going to complain about. That's just my guess. And if you are going to have a weird quirk, I don't know if they have something like this again, but I think you'd rather have it at the beginning of the season than at the end of the season and when you're really in the dog days of the 82-game season. And they got to go to Miami, Chris, and deal with a Miami flu that we hope that they avoid this time. I know the last time they went to Miami was struggling, and Miami took that opportunity to really take it out on the Kings. So hopefully the Kings can take out some frustrations on the Heat. Heat sitting at 3-2, the Kings sitting at 3-3. We have a full breakdown for you later in the show. But when we return, we go back to the 666 as Drake and DeMar go back and forth with some beef, and then we'll talk about the actual game. That's what I want to talk about, but let's see what Drake is talking about. He's so fake. Such fake hustle. That's what we call it back in my day. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Black Friday is on its way at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, and there's no better place to shop for all your power tools. Low price Makita Bear tools starting at $89, Makita batteries starting at just $49, and many more of the year's hottest deals. November 25th through December 2nd. That's right, one whole week of crazy deals on power tools. So don't forget, our Black Friday sale will be November 25th through December 2nd. Check us out at 6701 Power Inn Road or online at fasteners Inc.net.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Esteban. Happy Monday, y'all. I hope you guys have a great week with a peace sign. Thank you, Esteban. Shout out to you, Esteban. Very loyal listener, always on the text line. And if you want to share your thoughts on the text line, 916-339-1140. That's 916-339-1140. I've noticed, Chris, Whitey doesn't say the 916. He just says 339-1140. I just got to let people know, we're on YouTube. There might be people. Actually,
I think that's a 1-800 then. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and our signal is so strong. I think there are a lot of people that are listening that aren't in the 916.
Oh, yeah.
So you gotta let the people know. Is there a nickname for the 916? Like the 510 is the nickel and dime.
Oh, I was like, no, we just call it the 916.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
I feel like the 510 is very specific. You can say nickel and dime is really cool, but there's no other situation.
No. What, Stockton's 209? Yeah, you can't really. The 11.
The dirty 530.
Yeah, dirty 530.
But
that's it's not super endearing either to be.
I really wanted one growing up, and I grew up, my phone is 925, so I made one up. Do you want to hear it?
I'm trying to guess.
It's really corny.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if there's anything laying out in front of me that's obvious. Yeah, go ahead. Shoot. 925.
Keeping it live in the 925.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a very MySpace bio.
Literally.
Yeah,
no,
keeping it live in the 925.
Yeah.
What can you do with
925, keeping it live. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, not really much with I feel like people in general just rep the 916. I think it's just the if you know kind of thing.
If you know. And speaking of the 916, let's focus on the 666.
No one calls it the 6 either.
And head back to Toronto, where Drake inserted himself into the conversation. Where I guess I had forgot, Chris, to be completely honest, about the whole Kendrick Lamar thing. I saw Drake in the stands, and obviously as the game is going back and forth, I really didn't put two and two together until the very end, where everybody is starting to talk about what Drake said. So why don't you give us a lay of the land on what went down and how it went down? Because obviously we're listening to our broadcast, but apparently Drake went on the Raptors broadcast and had some things to say.
Yeah, so first and foremost, the reason why Drake was there was not to intimidate DeMar DeRozan or do anything like that. The reason why Drake was actually there was because it was Vince Carter's jersey retirement night. Of course, I think NBC Sports California even cut over to part of Vince Carter's retirement, and it was great, awesome, one of the most legendary jersey retirements I can ever remember. But that's the reason why he was there. Everybody in Toronto showing out for the one and only Vince Carter, who obviously is absolutely massive in Toronto and really put Toronto basketball in general on the scene. So that's what brought Drake to the game initially. And then immediately video surfaces from what do you call academics? Twitch streamer / social commentator / just in
hip
hop
content
creator. There you go. DJ Academics,
paid by Drake.
Yeah, who a lot of people say is on Drake's payroll. He is somebody who even during the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef was definitely team Drake and was always like, oh, what y'all don't know is Drake's actually playing 3D chess while Kendrick's playing checkers over here. So take that with a grain of salt. A tweet surfaces from DJ Academics. Drake and OVO Chubbs, he calls him Lieutenant Chubbs, mean mugging DeMar DeRozan the whole game. It's a video of Drake at the tip-off with his compadre, OVO Chubbs, standing next to him. And they are literally just staring at DeMar DeRozan as DeMar is completely ignoring them because, he's about to play a 48-minute basketball game. And so he's a little more focused on that while Drake thinks that this is a great moment to eye this guy down. That video surfaces. And then, as Alan mentioned, in about the third quarter, Drake hops on the Toronto Raptors broadcast. And they're, of course, asking him about, hey, what a great night it is for Vince Carter. What a great night it is for Toronto. And Drake unpromptedly just brings up what would happen if DeMar DeRozan were to get his number retired. Here's what Aubrey Drake Graham had to say.
Sure. Yes, if you ever put a DeRozan banner up, I'll go up there and pull it down myself. That's the answer to your question.
I see he was using his Toronto accent.
Yeah, there you go. So, if you ever put up a jersey up in the rafters, hey, Crody, then it's going to be on site, bro. There was Drake acting all hard and stuff in front of the Toronto broadcast. telling them that they better be on their ones if DeMar is going to get his jersey retired. And then Drake, later after the game, we can't really play it because he whispered it. And it's still this is the one part of the beef that I am very, very unconfirmed about. People are adamant that they can see Drake mouthing some stuff to DeMar DeRozan as he walks off the floor. Obviously, for those who didn't watch the game, DeMar had an opportunity to win the game in overtime with a corner three. It was a really tough shot. DeMar hits it front rim. And Drake is then seen on the sideline, like waving goodbye immediately, and then has some choice words for him on his way out. We can't say it on radio airwaves, but there you go. There you have it. So that brings us to then the post game, where, of course, DeMar DeRozan has to be asked by local media. DeMar, Drake had to say that if you were to get your jersey retired, he would pull it down from the rafters. And DeMar DeRozan is not a rapper, but had a thing to say, a nice little bar for Drake on his way out of his press conference.
Tonight's broadcast, Drake said, if you ever put up the Rosen banner up, I'll go up there and put it down myself. What's your reaction to that?
Well, he's going to have a long way to climb to take it down. So tell him good luck.
Good luck, Aubrey. Good luck. There you go. There you have it. That's where things seemingly came to an end as DeMar had that nice little parting shot, just telling him, hey, man, it's kind of like it's a little bit like that answer reminded me immediately of Madison Bumgarner and Bryce Harper.
Mm-hmm.
You're so mad at me for go get it out the water.
Oh,
essentially.
Max Muncy.
I think it was was it? Oh man,
yeah, because they hated
each other.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it was Max Muncy. That's right. Yeah, go get it out the water. And that's kind of what it reminded me of. It's like, Drake, if you're so mad, go up in the rafters and go pull it down yourself. So that's where we left things as they left the arena. And DeMar had to have a parting shot on his Instagram page. For anyone who's familiar with the movie Friday, you'll be very familiar with this scene right here.
Sit your ass down.
Man, I got mind control over Debo. He be like, shut the up. I be quiet. But when he leave, I be talking again.
So good. Absolute
Great
classic
stuff
from the movie Friday. Obviously, for those who are unaware, DeMar DeRozan goes by the nickname Debo. So, a little shot there from Drake and, in classic Drake fashion. No response, but I'm sure he'll have one in a couple days and say that he was all prepared for it. And I do want to say this was an interesting note that a friend of the station, friend of the show, Sean Cunningham, put on Twitter. I just thought it was an interesting piece of conversation. Sean says DeMar DeRozan definitely means more to that franchise than Drake does.
Yeah.
And I think on its surface, I wanted to push back and say, I don't know, Drake, from a brand perspective, from everything, I feel like more people correlate the Raptors with Drake than DeMar DeRozan. Feels like hoop heads, especially, you would have to really know Toronto Raptors basketball to think DeMar DeRozan. Then I kind of thought about it, and DeMar DeRozan directly got them Kawhi Leonard and also brought them to those Eastern Conference Finals all those years. And so I do think at the end of the day, it is true that DeMar means more to that franchise than Drake. But I just thought it was an interesting thought exercise for a second.
Yeah, with Drake and somebody on the text line 530 Raptors letting Drake get on the broadcast and act like a clown.
Crazy.
Bush League.
Crazy.
Embarrassing for their organization. But I think that, look, they were in the golden era when Drake was kind of just popping. Sure. I mean, he's still popping, but when he was really big and they had Kawhi and they just won the championship. I mean, Drake, they've done deals together. Drake, he is an ambassador for the
Drake
team.
night.
So so
they
that's
wear
why
they have OVO jerseys.
Yeah. And really, I struggle with, I guess, the fact that if you're Drake, I don't know the relationship that Drake and DeMar DeRozan had. So to me,
it was pretty great. It was a really, really good relationship.
But that's what I'm saying.
DeMar went to Drake's house immediately after he was traded from Toronto, and they had DeMar says in his book he cried at Drake's house. So.
But that's what I'm saying. For him to then be in the Kendrick Lamar video, I'm not gonna be the one out here defending Drake, but I'm saying that maybe Drake felt, why did you feel the need to do that? You could be cool with Kendrick Lamar and not that's a direct when he popped up in the video, everybody said, okay, well, we know what side DeRozan is on. So I think as DeRozan got interviewed about it, he thought, hey, I'm cool with both of them. But from Drake's point of view, he's probably thinking, I mean, we can't really be cool. This is embarrassing to me, right? I mean, it's embarrassing to me. So there you have it. Now that we're done with that TMZ segment, let's get back into some real sports talk as the Raiders talk about drama. They clean house and they fire their offensive coordinator, the QB coach, and everybody but the head coach. It's a nightmare out there in Vegas. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Rob Thomas, a special intimate performance.
I don't wanna be lonely no more. I don't wanna have to pay for
benefiting Sidewalk Angels Foundation. One night only, Saturday, November 16th, the venue of Thunder Valley. Rob Thomas, live. For tickets now, visit ThunderValleyResort.com.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body?
Huh?
That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin D3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Did you know that replacing garage doors is the biggest return on investment homeowners can get on improvements? Jason Ross here, and let me tell you about the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, a family-owned and operated company with third-generation owners that's been in business for 71 years right here in Sacramento. With new garage doors from Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, you'll not only get the wow factor, but you'll also know that you're working with a well-respected and proven company. Residential and commercial, brand new garage doors, or repairs to existing doors, they do it all. Take advantage of their free at-home estimates on new garage doors or check out the showroom with no appointment needed. And while you're at it, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports and receive $100 off a new garage door paired with a new garage door opener. Check out their website at ohdsac.com or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at Power Copier.
flying all over the place. Chris, they're up, they're down, they're all around. As we get ready, we will still talk about what happened in hot Atlanta and also in Toronto on the court, and then we're going to get into what the Kings have to deal with today in Miami. But the Raiders have made a couple decisions after they lose to the Bengals in a game where they ended up benching, Chris, your favorite QB, Gardner Minshew. Desmond Ridder gets a shout. It just is a complete mess out there. They fire offensive coordinator, who a lot of Raider fans not a fan of, Luke Getsy, QB coach Rich Scangarello, and offensive line coach James Craig. This is the fourth time in 5 seasons Raiders change coaches or coordinators in the middle of the season. The Raiders ranks under Luke Getsy, yards per play, 4.6. That's good for 29th in the league. Turnovers, 19. That's good for 32nd. Offensive points per game, 17.9. That's good for 26th. Yards per carry, 3.48. 32nd as well. Passer rating, 80.1. Good for 27th. Raiders in the final 5 games under Luke Getsy, 4 touchdowns on 5 opening drives, 4 touchdowns on 5 other drives. 3 of those 4 touchdowns came in the final 5 minutes when the Raiders were already cooked, down 20 points. Antonio Pierce said earlier this morning that he hasn't decided on offensive play caller moving forward after firing Luke Getsy Sunday. He also wouldn't name a starting QB moving forward. He said the decision to part ways with Getsy was 100% my decision. Well, Antonio Pierce, I don't know how many more decisions you're going to have yourself there, brother. Albert Breer says the Raiders wouldn't go to a 3rd year on offensive coordinator contract for Cliff Kingsbury, and the stall negotiations opened the door for the Commanders to swoop in and steal him, and now they have fired that guy. So again, just a team that continues to – you ever Chris, I don't know if I've ever told this story, but it was only it was just in warmups. Okay. So we're doing infield, outfield, where the coach hits the ball to all the outfielders. You throw to second, then you throw to third, then you throw home. Then they do the same thing to the infielders. Well, Chris, I was in left field and, I got my cleats on and I get a ground ball to throw to second base, Chris, one of the more embarrassing things. And luckily, like I said, it did not happen in a game. I went to throw, and as I stepped, because I'm left-handed, I step with my left foot, and as I'm stepping with my right foot to get into the throw, the cleat of my right foot hooks into my shoelace on my left foot, and I just go straight down. Straight down. That's the Raiders.
It's like a giant, man.
Timber. That's the Raiders, Chris. That's literally
stumbling over their own feet.
Stumbling over their own feet. Over and over again. They cannot get out of their own way.
Yep, 100%. That's exactly what it is.
They can't get out of their own way. And Antonio, I said this to you before the show. I don't see how they can fire all these dudes. And Antonio Pierce is saying it was his decision.
Yep.
I don't see how they can fire all these dudes and Antonio Pierce. I know it's only his first season. He was the interim guy and now they hired him. I don't know. They just can't get it right.
No.
I know Tom Brady's in the fold now. I wonder what Tom Brady thinks about Antonio Pierce. I think his thoughts are going to have a lot of weight, but I don't see how you keep Antonio Pierce after this season.
I don't either, especially looking at it here. The Raiders have the 2nd lowest point differential in the entirety of the NFL, and it's not just because of their offense. It's because their defense has allowed the 2nd most points of any team in the NFL as well. So, yes, the offense definitely could use some work, but Antonio Pierce is supposed to be – it's almost like the Robert Saleh thing where it's like, Robert Saleh, at least his offenses weren't great. His teams didn't necessarily have success, and I know people made he's not a defensive coordinator, he's the head coach argument, but at least the Jets' defenses have been solid. It brings an Alan Stylesism of Antonio Pierce. What exactly do you do here?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Because the defense isn't good. Your team is in complete disarray in the locker room. And that was supposed to be your thing, is you're the culture guy that's going to bring Raider football back to its glory. And it feels like this is much of the same. If not, it's a masterclass of a Raider season. Like, this is exactly what you would expect from a stereotypical, oh man, Raiders gonna Raider season. They trade one of their best players, if not their best player. They have quarterback controversy after being adamant that they made the right guy in week 1, and then have him switch in week 4. And then now their quarterback that already got benched at the start of the year is now getting benched again for a guy that they picked up last week, and he was terrible last year in Desmond Ridder. I just don't know what exactly the Raiders are hoping for. I think that you just hope that firing an OC for some reason, maybe you'll get a more creative play caller in there, but you can't make wholesale changes. You're not going to change the offense in your bye week. I just don't know exactly what the hope is for Antonio Pierce besides just shaking things up for the sake of shaking it up.
Yeah, it's a complete mess out there.
It's
and I'm
terrible.
looking here now. I'm just going to fire this up, Chris, because at least, and like I told you, I went out, and I'm not going to say where I went, but went out with the Fam Bam yesterday to watch the games early.
Okay.
And there's Raider fans out there. I got my Raider fan hat on, or my Raider hat on, because I support the team when they lose, because that's what they're supposed to be doing now. Okay, when they win, that doesn't make sense to me. Right now, Chris, just on Tankathon, this is a tight heat right now. There are a lot of 2-7 teams, okay? New England, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Carolina, Cleveland, and Las Vegas, and the Giants. And then you have the Dolphins at 2-6, the Titans at 2-6. So they gotta stay focused here and continue to lose ball games. Looking here, Chris, for as far as the quarterbacks are concerned, well, we know New England isn't going to take a QB.
Right.
Jacksonville, I don't think they can.
Maybe, yeah. They probably won't.
Not
Probably
high.
won't, yeah.
Not high. Maybe a 4th round or something like that. New Orleans might.
They definitely might.
New Orleans might.
Yeah.
Carolina.
Especially with a new coach in there, too.
Yeah. Carolina might. Probably will.
Probably will.
What about Cleveland?
I'd say so. I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know what to do with the Deshaun Watson situation. I mean, he's coming off the Achilles now, so maybe even you could say, like, hey, at the start of next year, he might not be ready. So it's pretty justifiable.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you figure, what was that?
Still
week
low
6,
contract, too.
week 6 when he did it, week 7. So a year just to get back, unless he's on the Aaron Rodgers, and he's on that, he's the cayenne pepper.
Yeah.
The Giants sitting at 2-7, Chris, what do you think?
That's another tough one. It's almost similar to Jacksonville, where they already paid Daniel Jones, but I can't imagine. I mean, what are you doing if Daniel Jones is your quarterback next season? I can't imagine it, but I guess teams have done worse. But there's so many different quarterbacks that are supposed to go in the top 10 of this draft. It wouldn't surprise me if the Giants are one of them.
Tennessee Titans sitting at 2-6, I think for sure.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think I'm
Mayo
afraid.
Man and Mason Rudolph, come on.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Miami Dolphins at 2-6, I don't think so.
Maybe, but yeah, I wouldn't think so.
And yeah, that's it for the 2-win teams. And then you got the Jets at 3 wins. The Cowboys, at 3 wins. And we got some smoke for the Cowboys coming up in a little bit here. As we said earlier, 11 o'clock starts the hardcore Kings talk. At 925, Chris, get rid of Carr, get rid of Jacobs, then trade away Hall of Fame receiver, and the OC got to go. Tom Brady needs to fire everyone that's not a player.
Well, some of the players probably should get fired too. I mean, yeah, I think it's time for a complete gutting of it. Like the Raiders,
But I feel like they've already gutted.
They have. They 100% have. I mean, they've gutted so many different times. I mean, after John Gruden, that was a gutting, and then it feels like they still have Tom Telesco, but you get Josh McDaniels out of there, and it feels like Telesco might. I don't know. I mean, I really would be interested to get what the Raider fan pulse is on the roster itself. Like, what do we feel like Tom Telesco has built a good team around him? Is it mainly just coaching? Is it just culture? And at this point, the locker room, that's the issue with the inconsistent play, or not even inconsistent, but just bad play in general. I'm sure it's some mixture of all of it, but I mean, yeah, I feel like that's the best answer is that you get the right people in there, because I don't know if right now the Raiders feel like they have the right people in, or at least I don't feel like the Raiders have the right people in there. I don't know who those right people are, but I think that the Raiders need to, Mark Davis has been lauded as a great owner, especially more so in the WNBA than in the NFL. But he's been somebody who's been unafraid to throw money, crazy money at people just to get the best people in charge. That's what I would try and do here, is just find who hey, we're getting no flack around the league because everybody acknowledges that this guy is an absolute genius, or whoever it is, it's an absolute genius running the team and or being the coach. I just think they need to get the smartest people they possibly can and throw all the money at trying to make this thing work.
What surprised you this weekend in the NFL? And the A's make something official. We will tell you what it is on the other side. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Robinhood is introducing forecast contracts so you can trade the presidential election. Through Robinhood, you can now trade financial derivatives contracts on who will win the U.S. presidential election, Harris or Trump, and watch as contract prices react to real-time market sentiment.
You've heard the saying, penny wise, pound foolish, right? It means you do something that will save you a little bit right now, just pennies, but that ends up costing you pounds in the end.
People put off tuning up their furnace because they don't want to take the time or spend the money to get it done.
But it only takes 90 minutes and costs just $87, which is just pennies compared to the huge problems and expenses that can rack up if you don't get your furnace tuned up.
You'll also save money on your energy bills, and your system will last longer.
So don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Call Bell Brothers for a precision tune-up and professional cleaning today.
Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. And 76, visit staples.com/print for details.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto. Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now that fall is here, now is the perfect time to head to Stockton and check out a new Mercedes-Benz. I had the opportunity just last week to drive an all-new S-Class 550, and let me tell you, it was a sweet ride. The moment I hopped in, I felt like I was in a world of luxury. From the steering wheel to the seat cooling and even the power of the engine, I was impressed. And then, of course, when I hopped in my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, I felt the same thing. So hurry in and take advantage of the Mercedes-Benz incentive bonuses up to $15,000. And they have tons of pre-owned vehicles as well, including C-Class sedans, GLC SUVs, and a whole lot more. Take it from me, you won't be disappointed. So take the short drive down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbofstockton.com.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
It is official. This is out of West Sacramento, California, for immediate release. The A's new brand guidelines go into effect today, November 4th. The new guidelines are as follows. When referring to the team name, use only athletics. You may use A's on second reference. ATH is the approved designation for the athletics. The city the A's play in is West Sacramento. The A's home ballpark is called Sutter Health Park. The A's new ballpark address is Sutter Health Park, 400 Ballpark Drive, West Sacramento, California, 95691. The club's new primary logo is the green A's and is attached. The club's primary word mark will remain unchanged from the Green Athletics script. This is from John Shea of the SF Chronicle. The A's officially are no longer the Oakland A's. They say they are simply the Athletics, but in fact, they are now the Sacramento A's. They just seem too embarrassed to call themselves that. They should be Sacramento proud. Very odd. Chris is somebody in Sacramento who is rocking an A's hat right now.
Athletics, please.
Athletics,
please.
For the, excited for the city to get a team. How should Sacramentans feel about the A's essentially refusing to add Sacramento to their name, as this is an interim situation? This is an Antonio Pierce, Rich Bisaccia situation until they get to Vegas.
I mean, I think it's not great. I obviously think everybody feels kind of independently about this entire situation in total. I think some people are excited. I think some people are conflicted about being excited. I think some people are not excited at all about this. So I think about the Sacramento name specifically, it feels like, for sure, especially being here in Sacramento, people are like ridiculously proud of the Sacramento and being here and having that name be across the jersey and having it being represented across the country. I think it means everything to Sacramento. It's us it's us elevating as a city, right? We talk about it all the time. The Doco being built out. They're having concerts and festivals out here now, tons, and there's a nightlife here that people can enjoy and again, kind of not be embarrassed of. I just think it's really something that Sacramento people should notice. Now, is it something that you should ultimately not go to A's games because they're not claiming Sacramento? I'm going to say no, but I do think that for some people it is that serious. I do think some people really feel like it's the least that they can do is sell some Sacramento merch and at least, for the time being, while you're using us to essentially just be a vehicle to get you to Vegas, can you at least do us some solid by putting us on the map, and who knows how much they'll promote Sacramento being a good market. But I definitely think it matters at least a little bit to the people who are here, the people who already feel conflicted. And maybe, I know it's political season, but I know people have gotten in some real family arguments about, hey, like I'm an A's fan and I just think that it's insane that you would support these guys here. And so I think it would mean a lot. It's just a little small gesture, them going by Sacramento, but it really shouldn't surprise us that they can't even do us that little solid.
916-339-1140. Does it make you feel some type of way that the A's will not be referring to themselves as the Sacramento A's, simply the A's? Yeah,
Athletics, please.
The Athletic. Well, that's second
round. As long as you say Athletics first, apparently, because as they even did in the press conference, they say, call us the Athletics and then proceed to go by A's.
Yeah,
so I guess you have to establish Athletics first.
Today is the day, and if you are somebody who is Sacramento proud, you're excited because you're getting the team.
Sure.
But it's still a bit confusing if the whole thing is, hey, this is a tryout for when there's an expansion team, and this is what we're going to do. But to me, Chris, you're dealing with the same issues as the WNBA situation. You have a team, and this is why the Giants were more than okay with getting the A's up out of the Bay Area and out of California for that matter, because if you are Major League Baseball, number one, we've already talked about the logistics with Sutter Health Park, but I just don't really know how you can sit there and tell a Salt Lake City who's on the come up, they just got an NHL team, tell any of these big cities that are probably as big as Sacramento, how are they going to say we're going with Sacramento even though there's a team about an hour away, right? I don't see how they can. I'm talking expansion, not because that's what we're talking about here, not Vegas fell through and the A's are already here. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I think, the actual plan of we're trying this out, and then once the A's leave, Major League Baseball would say, well, it went so well in Sacramento. Here you go, Sacramento. Here's a team. I just don't see how they're going to be able to look the Nashvilles of the world, the Salt Lake Cities of the world in the face and say, hey, even though Sacramentans can drive an hour and a half to the Bay, we're going to give them another team as well. I just don't see that happening.
No, I don't either. I do think in general, the Sacramento thing really does speak to the temporary nature of it, which I get is that they don't want it to have any appearance of the fact that they are there to stay. It's the opposite of what Vivek said when he bought the Kings. This is your team and they're here to stay. It feels like this is their team and they're here to just kind of be here and then they're going to go. So maybe that's a big reason, is it is just a marketing thing. They don't want people's brains to get attached to Sacramento athletics just for a couple of years down the line, for it to then have to retrain people to now say the Vegas athletics. It's really stupid, but I do think that that's probably a big part of it, is just the optics of, we don't want any illusion that we're going to be here for a long time.
Right.
We are literally just using this as a building and nothing more. This is not our home, even though we have an address apparently in West Sacramento. It is nothing more than just a stop on the road, and there will be no illusion. We're not wearing it on any jerseys. We're not selling any merch. We're not doing anything to tie ourselves to Sacramento, with the exception of using their ballpark and collecting their money.
Very much the opposite of me and my airports, Chris. Not trying to give the Sacramentans any hope at all that this thing is yours. But hey, come out, spend your hard-earned money in your city. Right. And it reminds me, Chris, when people, and I was one of those people as well, sometimes you gotta go back home after you come back from college, or even a little bit after college, and you want to save some money, so you move back home. You might not know how long you're going to be there, but you are planning on leaving. Right. So, you don't change your address on your ID because just forward me the mail.
It's fine,
yeah. Just you
got
fill
a
it out.
PO box, maybe.
Yeah, just forward me the mail forwarding address. That's fine, because I'm not changing. I am not changing my address back to my mother and father's address. I'm just refusing to do that, and that's what the A's are essentially saying here. Hey, this is, you just forward us the mail. We're in Sacramento, but when you try to explain
we're more visiting.
When you try to explain it to somebody and you don't really want to tell them that you're living at home. Right. Oh, so what are you doing now? Where are you at? Oh, I was in Oakland. I'm in Concord right now at my parents' house, but I'm on the way out. I'm just in between situations. That's the A's. They are in between
jobs, right?
Yes, they are. I'm in between jobs. I got laid off, so my mom.
It's me time. I'm enjoying myself. I'm finding myself.
My parents, they're getting older. I'm just trying to help them. I'm helping them out.
It's actually not about me.
It's not about me. You actually should feel good about me telling you this, because I'm making them feel good. All right, Chris. Well, it was all good just a week ago in terms of feeling good when I did my famous scream, but things kind of went south after that with the Sac Republic. They have fired their head coach after serving as the club's academy director. Briggs was hired at the conclusion of the 2019 season as the fourth head coach in club history. Through 5 seasons, the club finished 74, 49, and 47 through 170 matches, with postseason appearances in 4 of 5 years. Republic FC would reach the Western Conference Finals in 2023, conference semifinals in 2022, and the opening round in 2020 and 2024. During his tenure as head coach, Republic FC made American soccer history as a U.S. Open Cup finalist in 2022, the first time a second division club in nearly 2 decades would reach the national championship match. He is currently the longest tenured coach in club history and finishes his time in Sacramento with a 44% winning percentage. Chris, Mark Briggs is out. Republic FC general manager, president Todd Dunavant says, Mark will always have a special place in Republic history, and in particular by leading our team to unprecedented heights for the 2022 U.S. Open Cup final. We wish Mark and his family well in his next chapter. We will now turn our attention toward a comprehensive head coaching search and building a championship roster for the 2025 and beyond. Last but not least, Mark Briggs' quote, Sacramento is a very special place with a one-of-a-kind club and incredible fans. I'd like to thank the players who've been a part of the past 5 years, the front office, who have been incredibly supportive, and the fans who welcomed me into the club with tremendous passion and vigor, said Mark Briggs. I'm grateful for my time here, and it has been an honor to be a part of this community.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's really unfortunate to hear. I mean, I think I don't follow Sac Republic necessarily as much as some of the very, very loud and supportive fans that they have, but even just from afar, I mean, you listed all the playoff success that they've had and everything like that. It seems like it was a really, really good pairing between the two. And I think the fact that it's it's being reported as a mutual split between the two. I think definitely more so speaks to it's not necessarily about his performance. You read his record, 74, 49 and 47. I mean, obviously a little bit has to do with the performance, but I think it has probably more to do with just a change in direction. When teams end up kind of maybe not hitting a ceiling, but when you haven't had the breakthrough moment year after year after year, something's got to change. And that's kind of what this reads to me, is that it's not even necessarily like you didn't meet expectations, get out of here. It's more of a, hey, like, we did some great things here, but I think both of us feel like maybe it's time for both of us to move to a new chapter. So hopefully both can land on their feet. Obviously, Sac Republic, when they're good here, man, like it is an event to go to, as you definitely know.
Oh, yes, I do. It's Kings Talk when we return, but we do have news. I'm not going to call it breaking news, and this news could lead to the return of one of the top picks from the Niners. We have that news for you when we return, and then we get into Kings Talk. Oh, my goodness. The story is still being written for this guy. I can't believe it. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right out of the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote. That's theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Ready to pre-game your next big arena event? Head to Beach Hut Deli, a Sacramento tradition for over 40 years, where aloha is served daily. Located just steps away from the arena, whether it's game day or concert night, it's the perfect spot to gather with friends and enjoy amazing sandwiches. Are you planning a bigger get-together? Beach Hut Deli offers endless catering options to bring those delicious flavors to your next party or event. Beach Hut Deli, good vibes, great food, and epic times await.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com. KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. Next at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, 1 hour down, 3 to go, and we have some news. We're about to get into the Kings talk, and trust me, I don't know if Mike Brown's going to be listening, and he's a friend of the show, but we can't do Homer radio, not here on Stiles and Watkins, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. If you're just now joining us, if you missed the first hour, don't worry, Kings talk is coming up right now. But first, guys, and Nate had to remind me of something I already knew. Okay? But I don't care. Dak Prescott expected to miss multiple weeks after his hamstring injury was worse than initially feared. That is per Ian Rappaport. So, yes, you have Cooper Rush as the backup, but you might as well stink. You know how I feel about being in purgatory, Chris. It's Trey Lance time. It's Trey Lance time. NFC East is cooked. You're behind all of the other NFC teams not in your division anyway. They'll probably go with Cooper Rush to start, Chris. I don't know much about him. He's like a Brandon Allen to me, right? These guys are pretty solid backups, and I guess you get a backup. You either get a backup to keep the ship afloat, or you just decide, hey, this is a high level, a high potential guy, high ceiling guy, and we want to see what we have with him. If I'm the Cowboys, Chris, very similar to Joe Flacco, if you will, if you want to go that direction. They have the Eagles next. If you want to go Cooper Rush, see if he can beat the Eagles, which I feel like he did either last season or a couple seasons ago. He actually played pretty well for them. But if you lose to the Eagles and you lose to the Texans, something like that, and this thing's cooked, you know what time it is. Trey Lance time.
Three players threw a pass for the Cowboys on Sunday. None of them were Trey Lance. Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, and their punter Brian Anger threw a pass. Trey Lance did not. I just don't think that he's in their plans. I think it's very clear that he
fourth rounder, Chris. Gave up a fourth rounder.
Sure, yeah. I don't, and that they should have played him. I mean, if he was going to play, I think he would have played by now. I think that the fact that Cooper Rush comes in, throws 25 passes, I don't think that they have any intention of playing Trey Lance, which should tell you exactly what they've seen from him so far, because they have, like you said, they gave up a fourth round pick for him. They have every excuse in the world to try and get Trey Lance out there, and they will not throw him out there, which tells me that it has been probably worse than what we could imagine with Trey. And we know how that last preseason game went. What was it? 4 or 5 interceptions he had. I don't think he's going to step on the field unless Cooper Rush is absolutely terrible, which he was not good. He was not great, but I mean, he still did throw a touchdown in the game yesterday and kind of made it close towards the end of that game. So I just don't see Trey Lance in the future here. Unless they just pick up some I mean, they say Dak's going to miss a couple weeks, multiple weeks. Maybe if it's bad enough in this week, maybe they'll give it another shot. But you have Eagles, Texans, Commanders, Giants, Bengals in front of the Cowboys coming up next. I don't think Trey Lance, Cooper Rush, I don't think it matters who's going to be in there. They're probably going to get destroyed.
All I know is you might as at the very least you can trade him again if he does look good, because he's just kind of sitting there and you fried. I mean, it was a typical Jerry move because nobody else knew in the organization what he was doing, but you gave up a fourth rounder for him, and he's just gonna just kick it there on the bench. Wherein this thing is probably cooked, and Brandon and Cooper Rush doesn't. We know what we have with Cooper Rush. At least they feel like they do. So
he's 5-1, by the way.
Cooper Rush. Yeah, he was great last year.
He was good.
2022.
Yeah,
he had a start in 21 on Halloween. He's 5-1 against Minnesota, Cincinnati, New York, Washington, the Rams. And his only loss is to the Eagles.
There you go. Well, he'll have a chance to avenge that loss when the Cowboys take him on. So maybe I'm a little too excited. Maybe there won't be any Trey Lance, but it was just a bad deal then on Jerry's part. But that's kind of been the MO with Jerry. We'll get into more of that when we go around the NFL later in the show. Chris, it's time to talk some Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings got the weekend started off right, a Friday beam, 123 to 115. The beam was glistening in the rain. I know a lot of people took videos and had it all over social media. It looked amazing, Chris. It was beautiful to see, even though Trae Young played fairly well. He started out slow and then heated up towards the end. Clint Capella looked like Akeem Olajuwon for a good bit of that game, but the Kings get it done 123 to 115. Are you telling me there's a chance in a bizarre back-to-back, but logistically it was tough, but as far as the competition, probably a back-to-back that you'd like to have, Chris? Atlanta was down all game. They tied it at 109 around the 6-minute mark, and then the Kings separated. Then Saturday, they lose. And look, we knew it was going to be tough with Vince Carter getting his jersey retired. And the Raptors pretty desperate for a W. You got Drake in the building, so everybody's trying to show out. 131 to 128. Toronto led all game. Sacramento makes a run around the 6-minute mark. They force overtime on a Domantas Sabonis tip-in, and DeMar DeRozan scored all overtime points. Yes, we've seen the stat everywhere. You have De'Aaron Fox, Chris, and probably a game. I mean, between, I don't know what you can't stand more, Chris, watching De'Aaron Fox take 11 three-pointers, especially when he didn't hit any, or your famous Sam Darnold interception. But it was a rough game where really DeMar and De'Aaron Fox were cold to start. DeMar eventually heated up. De'Aaron Fox did not. The Friday, the win is a win. Great, cool. They took care of business. But Saturday, Chris, that was bad, in my opinion. I know that I am keeping in perspective the logistics of everything. It was a back-to-back. We get all that. I didn't like I understand. I don't even care that it was a close game. I didn't like the last play call with 8-9 seconds left, a fadeaway, DeMar DeRozan 3. I didn't like that. I didn't like some of De'Aaron Fox's shot selections. I didn't like really anything from that Toronto game.
Yeah, the Toronto game was super tough, and I don't know. I mean, to me, it whatever. I mean, it's whatever. I really don't care what people will say about it. Like, I do think that it was pretty rough from a scheduling perspective. Obviously, like the travel mileage in general, but just the fact that it's a back-to-back from the south to the north, and then you have to clear customs. They got in at probably, I think Drape said 3 a.m. Their flight landed in Toronto, and then they had to go through customs, get into their hotel room. The game's at 4:30 p.m. I just think from a logistics standpoint, that is an absolute nightmare. And like, whatever, again, people can say it's an excuse. I don't care. Beat the Raptors. Like, that's crazy. That is absolutely insane to try and work under those conditions. I just think that that's already putting yourself at a disadvantage. And then they came out flat. Like, if I could rake a positive, because I didn't feel, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I felt good about the Kings' loss against the Raptors, but they had no business being in that game whatsoever. I mean, they looked incredibly flat. The Raptors were hitting shots like crazy. The fact that they even forced overtime, I took as an accomplishment. I didn't think that they would be able to leave there with a win. I think the fact that it's a 3-point loss is pretty good considering how poorly they played. But yeah, I mean, it was a bad performance. De'Aaron was terrible from the perimeter. You know, I hate him taking 11 threes in general. I don't care how many he makes. And then you put on the fact that he didn't make a single one, and that last shot of the game to me is inexcusable. And that's where, if I were to have a gripe and go off for 10 minutes, it would be about De'Aaron Fox not passing that ball to Malik Monk. The easy swing play. De'Aaron, to me, felt like he was trying to be a hero in that moment, and I just felt like that was not the time for it. Malik Monk is a much better, you would just trust Malik to hit that shot, I would think, in general, more than De'Aaron. Like, let's say that's Keegan Murray and De'Aaron shakes off Keegan Murray. Now, granted, that's almost the extreme example, but I just feel like there's just about everybody on the floor, with maybe the exception of DeMar DeRozan, that I would feel more comfortable taking a three. And the fact that De'Aaron looks off a wide open Malik Monk, who is calling for it, standing right next to him, it just, I just couldn't stand it. It really, really frustrated me.
But De'Aaron was open too. He took that
sure.
extra dribble, which is what gave the Boucher time to get there. He had time. He took the extra dribble because he wasn't confident
Swing the ball
in the shot, and he still tried to take it anyway. Whether it got tipped or not, I don't care. So, Chris, are you calling this a schedule loss?
To an extent, yeah, for sure. Yeah, to an extent, definitely.
It's tough, man. I really don't. It's tough for me to do that because it is the Raptors. I know.
I get it. Yeah.
You know, I know the Raptors. They're not good.
No,
I don't know if
they
they'll
are
be
bad.
Yes.
They are bad.
And that's my problem. I'll put it to you like this as well. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like I said, Mike Brown, I love Mike Brown. We've had him on the show. I hope to have him on the show again. But how you feel is how you feel. I think the Doug McDermott stuff is ridiculous. Okay, we don't know if Keon's going to start because apparently Kevin Huerter was at shoot-around. Then he left early, still not feeling well. I think the Doug McDermott stuff is a PR stunt. I think that he's trying to protect. I don't know if he's trying to protect the team. I'm talking about Mike Brown from the Keon Ellis conversation, and I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous, okay? You give Doug McDermott 15 minutes because you don't want to deal with questions about Keon Ellis starting over Kevin Huerter. And I'm not saying that's not what he's going to tell you why he started Doug McDermott. He's going to give you a reason, but I'm telling you I think that's what it is. And the Malik thing is fine. Yeah. We've already given up on the Malik. I can understand that. Now you have Keon Ellis.
Right.
And you're starting Doug McDermott out of nowhere. These are the types of decisions that just make absolutely no sense to me. And then he plays 15 minutes. He takes 2 shots. He's a -8. He had 4 points. What was the point of that? You still played Keon Ellis 27 minutes. He was 1 for 4 from 3-point range. So you still played him that. I don't think it's necessary to do stuff like that. And now you're making a mountain out of a molehill by just, hey, you've already given yourself the grace of saying, hey, Keon wasn't a starter in our eyes. Right. He was filling in for Kevin Huerter. Yep. So why now, when you have an opportunity to do the same thing, hey, guys, this is how I laid it out for you, you go with Doug McDermott out of nowhere? It's just bizarro world to me, Chris. I'm sorry.
No,
it just none of it makes sense, especially coming off a back-to-back where okay, my starters played big minutes, so Keon is going to bring that spark defensively immediately. You got dudes on the Raptors. Let's see here. You got Grady. You could have locked up Grady Dick. He dropped 22 points. Okay, Ochai Baji, 22 points.
Chris Boucher.
I know, but RJ Barrett, 31 points. I know he's a bigger dude. You got Chris Boucher off the bench. Would love to have him on the Kings bench. He drops 24. He's 4 for 6 for 3-point land. And again, this is what we're talking about, where it's, how often is Chris Boucher going to shoot 4 for 6? Well, why does this keep happening against the Kings, right? And this is the first bad loss for the Kings. We can put it all in the blame pie, Chris, and we can put a bunch into the travel and the customs. We can put that as part of the blame pie. But the bottom line is now if you want to win 50 games, you got to win games like this. And now you got to go to Miami where, all right, you lost to the Raptors. Now, like we said, Chris, you got to switch. So a lot of us thought that the Kings were going to lose to Miami because we're coming off that Monday. Now, since you tricked off, and I don't even know if it was a trick off because the Raptors did come to play. Now that you lost to the Raptors, you have to beat the Heat. And everyone can sit there and 916-339-1140. You can sit there and say, Alan, it's the 6th game of the season. What are you talking about? All I'm saying is we saw this same thing last season, or the 7th game of the season. We saw the same thing happen last season. So I'm not panicking. It might sound like I am, but it just can be upsetting because they had opportunities. All right, Chris, I'm going to let you kind of rebuttal everything I just said, and I want everybody else to as well. 916-339-1140. Let's open up the phone lines for your Sacramento Kings. How are you feeling about the Kings tonight? And are you giving the Kings a pass for what happened in the 666 Stiles and Watkins Sacktown Sports?
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Black Friday is on its way at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, and there's no better place to shop for all your power tools. Low price Makita Bear tools starting at $89, Makita batteries starting at just $49, and many more of the year's hottest deals. November 25th through December 2nd. That's right, one whole week of crazy deals on power tools. So don't forget, our Black Friday sale will be November 25th through December 2nd. Check us out at 6701 Power Inn Road or online at fastenersinc.net.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Who is the dummy that forgot their sweatshirt and or hoodie today, knowing that we do a show in the Arctic? That would be me, Alan Stiles. If you were on YouTube, you saw me going old school. I literally had my arms inside of my shirt. That's how cold it is in here. But I got to power through, Chris. I got to power through.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
why
cold.
it's so cold.
I don't know what's colder, me or De'Aaron Fox in Toronto from 3-point range. Somebody needed to close the door. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. And the whole tip thing, that was what was this, the second or third air ball that day?
I was not keeping track. I'll tell you.
I know.
I can tell you missed 11 times.
There was a air ball prior to that, which is why, I mean, if you're the ref, you probably thought, I can't. Should they have reviewed it though, Chris? How does that work?
They could have reviewed it, but I don't think it was tipped.
Drake told him not to.
They even did.
Yeah,
it wasn't even close.
Yeah. 415 morning, guys. Styles, I'm right there with you. This is a trash loss, as you called it a week ago. To get punked by the worst team in the league without Scotty Barnes is alarming, because this was a constant last season. Now, again, you just got to make up for it. So you can't let you win tonight. Fine. That's how this whole thing works. We look back at that 11 game mini season that Chris and I broke down. Fine. A lot of us thought that they would lose the game tonight. So you win tonight. Everything is good. Chris, I do want to go back and forth. And James, we see you. We're about to get to you as we open up the phone lines. How you feeling about your Sacramento Kings? Chris, I did want to get to your note about the last shot, because I saw Matt George talking about it. Hey, he's the star. He's got to take that shot. Some people saying Malik Monk was open, so you got to swing it. What if I lived in a world, Chris, where I know this might be a bit of a cop-out, and I'm not normally a fence sitter, but are you saying this because Malik Monk is a better shooter, or are you saying it based on how De'Aaron was shooting? If De'Aaron was 5 for 11, would you have still wanted him to swing it?
Yes, I would have wanted him to swing it, because I think that that's the right basketball play in general, is for you to just swing, and the ball has energy. And when you swing the ball like that, it just, I don't know if there's any, Kirk Goldsberry numbers behind it or something, but it just feels like when you move the ball, again, it has energy, and it just feels like the shots go in so much easier. It's one of those things that you can't really describe. And again, I don't know if stats back it up, but for anyone who's played organized basketball before, when the ball is humming, when the ball is moving around the floor, it just feels like the ball leaves your fingertips with ease. And it feels like those shots go in a lot easier. Like you said, De'Aaron takes a dribble off of that. That adds a level of complication to it. Then he's shooting over somebody. Just felt like it could have been a much easier shot. But yes, I think the bigger part of it for me is that Malik is a better shooter. And in that moment, I want the best possible shooter taking that. And that's why I brought up the Keegan Murray example. Again, it's the extreme example, but if Keegan is standing right next to De'Aaron, I would like to think that De'Aaron, doesn't matter if he's 6 of 6 from 3, he would kick it over to Keegan. It, to me, was a weird moment of, well, I would have thought that in that moment, you would feel more confident. You should, whatever. You should know yourself better and say, I'm not a good 3-point shooter, and I'm 0 of 10 right now.
Yeah.
Let me swing it to Malik, who, again, percentages show Malik is not as lethal of a shooter as probably a lot of people would think he is. He's really ends up hovering around 35%. He has never been a 40% 3-point shooter from 3, but it just feels like, I think everybody would agree, Malik Monk, when that shot goes up from the perimeter, I think everybody feels more confident that a Malik Monk 3 is going in than a De'Aaron Fox one, just in general, just as a blanket statement. And then you throw on the 0 for 11. I don't care that Malik wasn't having his best game ever either. I just feel like Malik should be taking that shot. And maybe a bit of it was De'Aaron saying mentally, oh, I'm the best player on this team, and we're going to win or lose by me.
209.
I just didn't like it.
Yeah, 209. Tonight, Brown will battle a Hall of Fame coach. Let's see how he runs the team after an embarrassing loss. 209 is calling it. Yeah, where I'm living on this is if De'Aaron, that's why I wanted to get your thoughts. If De'Aaron was 5 of 10, I would be okay with him taking it. I think being 0 of 10 with, and I not that I was counting track, but I did see with at least one air ball in that mix, then for me, that's why I would have had him swing it. So I'm okay. To me, it's just more situational. How are you feeling? You're the star. It just felt like I think what we all saw was De'Aaron feeling like he had to take it. And the basketball play is, no, brother, you don't have to if you're not feeling it. And then to airball it wide open is crazy. Yeah. What did you think about the initial play call? I know it was a tougher, you only had, 2 seconds when the Kings had a similar situation with Keegan. I understood that play more. I didn't like the last play call at all to DeRozan in the corner. You just had a lot more time. I know no Keegan, but I didn't like that play call at all.
I didn't mind it, more so because I've seen DeMar hit like literally that same exact step for step in the corner, taking it, turning around, and just firing. He's hit that game winner, like specifically a game winner with that shot on multiple occasions when he was in Chicago. And so that's what was going through my mind at first. But again, like that, I was a little bit jaded in that moment. I thought it was going in. I thought it was a good play, but especially with definitely not even having to have hindsight be 2020, probably isn't the most efficient shot that you could take. It's almost saying, hey, we are for this shot relying on DeMar DeRozan's shot-making ability instead of we're going to draw up a beautiful play that's going to get him the best person a wide-open look. It was straight up, this is DeMar's night. It is in Toronto. He's got Drake sitting courtside. That was almost a DeMar DeRozan, here's your actual setting it up for you. Here is a hero moment for you. It did not go in, but if it would have gone in, I would have you would have seen 3 different clips of DeMar hitting that same exact 3 when he was in Chicago.
Yeah, there was a part of me, I'm not even kidding, there's a part of me, I thought Sabonis might get the shot. I thought there was a part of me that thought he might be the second option here if everybody's all, because again, no Keegan Murray between, I guess you got, like we said, Malik and a cold De'Aaron, but yeah, they decide to go with DeMar DeRozan. I think it was to try to force second overtime and wasn't successful. 916-339-1140. Let's open up the phone lines. How's everybody feeling? Let's go to James. Wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, James? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Hey guys, I think you guys are right on point. I agree with Chris. I'm glad he brought it up. 0 for 10. All right, 0 for 10. I think it's on the coach at that point. You need 3 points, and you put any guy out there that's 0 for 10. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's what I've got.
Yeah, thanks for the call, James. Well, again, the play was to DeRozan, right? It bounced to De'Aaron Fox, and there you have it. You know what I'm thinking right now, Chris? And off the top of my head, this is why I'm still upset about the Doug McDermott starting thing. Keegan Murray's injured. Why don't you have Doug McDermott in? You need a 3.
Sure.
Why didn't you have Doug McDermott in? You need a 3. He was good enough to start.
Right.
And you needed 3-point shooting. So that's why I'm saying that the whole thing just didn't make any sense to me from start to finish. 916, to be honest, not sure why Fox didn't pass to Monk for a better 3. And I also don't understand why the Kings just didn't feed DeRozan. He was cooking. Let's get this rebound victory tonight.
They fed him in overtime.
Light the beam. That is from Eli McFly. So puzzling. This is from the 916. So puzzling, guys. Why do we shoot threes horribly and other teams make everything? I can only come up with one thing. Other teams have to be saying these guys are small and soft, and if we compete, the Kings will fold. They are confident against us, Jeff. Not that I necessarily agree with that, Jeff, but that's kind of what JaVale McGee, not what he said on these airways, but it was something similar. We'll get into that more so on the other side. And Billy, we see you. Don't move a muscle. You'll kick us off after the break. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
The first big sale of the year on the all-new 2025 Silverado is on at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates, every new 2025 Samsung LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock at Maida Chevy.
And Maida Chevy has the largest selection of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing leases. Some offer source internet search in 1724.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist? Huh, you don't say. Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
The presidential general election is November 5th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Don't miss Stoney's Rockin' Radio's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night with a free tri-tip dinner. That's right, free tri-tip dinner and free late-night biscuits and gravy. So don't miss Stoney's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night, plus free dance lessons, sing some karaoke, or ride Stoney's mechanical ball. I'll see you on the dance floor.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomeslaw.com.
Fall's right around the corner, and there's no better way to experience nature and everything that Northern California has to offer than in a Jeep. And right now, it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And they've got the deals and selection for you. From sales to service, they're going to prove to you why they deserve your business. Their GM, Chuck Dean, he has this talent of not only getting you the best deal in town, but he also is able to build an inventory that other dealers are jealous of. SacSuperstore.com and located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports. A lot of people, Chris. It's De'Aaron. It's Coach Mike Brown as well. A lot of people not thrilled, or I should say, not thrilled with what they got cooking right now. Obviously, I keep saying, as much as the Toronto loss bothered me, I'm waiting to see what happens tonight. You can trade losses and then obviously keep going from there. You just have to win. When you lose games you're not supposed to lose, you got to win games that might be tougher to win, right? And I know logistically it was a tough stretch, but at the same time, as far as the travel, you look at who they faced, and this is one of the softer road trips that the Kings are going to have. 916-339-1140. Let's go to Billy. Wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Billy? You're on Stiles and Watkins.
Gentlemen, this morning.
We're good. How are you?
Good. Well, not good. I would have been a lot better if the Kings would have won a game.
Yeah.
They're expected to win.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Kings are going to go 6-4 to start their first 10. Okay. Now, it's obvious we need a power four underneath of a Bernard King type. We've got to package Herter and Murray, and let's bring somebody good in there that wants to play winning, mature team basketball. Kings come, what do you call you? You were saying a scheduled loss. I never heard such a term.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox has a hurt finger. Go sit on the bench and let's get somebody else in there that wants to play. That's all I really have to say. But it's time that we're a step away.
Yeah.
And that's what we need, and we'll see tonight.
We will see tonight. Yeah. Thanks for the call, Billy.
Maybe the Kings should get Bernard King.
Yeah.
That might help.
Thanks for the call, Billy. I think Billy had mentioned, what did he said? Herder. Did he say Keegan? Did he say Keegan too?
He sure did. That'll get you Bernard King.
Look, and the De'Aaron Fox, this is what's tough though, right? With the finger thing. As we've said before, if you play at the Y or whatever it is, you're playing pickup basketball and somebody is older or seems to not be 100%, but there's a long wait, a 20-minute wait, you're gonna play as tough as you can play. You're on the court. That's what it is, right? So De'Aaron Fox, he's already said he's gonna play through this injury, and that's another reason, Chris, to take that. Now that I think about it, to take that 3-pointer. Knowing that you have the injured finger, I don't know what to do with this information all season long because we can't give him a pass, because we shouldn't give him a pass because he's on the court, even though we know he's not 100%. So
important to note the night before he was 4 of 6 from 3, 11 of 6. Like he had his best game of the season in Atlanta the night before.
Right. And I guess he was trying to get back to that if throughout the whole game. We get it, to back-to-back. Bad basketball play. I think it's a make or miss league. You miss that shot, and we're going to talk about it the way we talk about it. You make that shot, and this is what we're talking about with De'Aaron Fox. Now, I'm not going to talk out both sides of my mouth when I say De'Aaron looking for that all-NBA, looking for that all-defensive team, looking for that Supermax contract, looking to overtake the Ja Morants of the world and guys like that and be in those conversations. You got to take shots like that to be in those conversations, but you got to hit shots like that if you want to be a part of that conversation. So you just have to find a way to, and whether it's him or Malik that takes it, you just got to find a way to win these ball games. And if the quest to 50 wins, as we talk about every season, these are the types of games you're going to have to win. And Billy, look, it's not great. I don't like schedule losses. Like, again, you make up for it tonight, then all's well that ends well. But if you lose this game today, if 4:34 o'clock, that's a tough go, Chris. It's a tough go.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, like you said, it's a make or miss league, and De'Aaron definitely was missing one day, and the day before he had made all of the shots. And so, it's a bit of a, some days just aren't your days, and I don't love it as an excuse, but it is the reality of the NBA that some days, you, for whatever reason, you just can't make a shot. It is also important to note that De'Aaron was 5 of 9 in that fourth quarter. Like, a big reason why they were able to come back and force overtime in the first place is because De'Aaron did eventually wake up, but did have the moment at the end of the game where, you look at the stat line and then you look at the missed shot at the end of the game, and it looks like a really, really terrible performance. I think it's all I can say if you're going to try and defend the team is just, you just hope that they don't have another performance like it. But you can definitely throw back and say, well, they had plenty of these same exact performances last year. And I think that's the most concerning part about it. I just think that it's looked a little bit different. I mean, we haven't seen this team be completely blown out of the water. Their biggest loss, I believe, is 4 points so far this season. So they've at least been competitive in every single game that they've played, which is a minor victory. But it does show that even on nights, last year when the Kings couldn't hit shots, they were out of the game completely. There was no hope that they could have any semblance of even making it a game. Just trying to read positive 6 games into the season, it is to me a positive that they have found out how to, in the games that they have even lost, to at least keep those losses close and not let it be blowouts, not let it get far away from them. I don't love the performance at all on Saturday. I think it was embarrassing. I think it was borderline inexcusable, but there are reasons why they looked as poor as they did. And I just think that, yes, it's super easy to just, say trade everybody, get them all out of here. They're all bums. They all miss shots, whatever. But there's legitimate reasons why they played poorly. And I think there's also some positives in the poor performance to take from. And so I don't know. I just think this early in the season, getting super riled up about individual losses, it just doesn't get you anywhere. It's looking at the bigger picture, like you said. I mean, if they lose again here, that's where we can really start conversation of, okay, is this the team of last year? But single losses after they had just won 3 in a row on a back-to-back in a really brutal stretch of a road trip early in the season, their first road trip of the year. Again, I think there's reasons why. You can call it an excuse all you want, but I think that those are totally valid reasons.
Well, Vegas has no clue what to do with tonight's game. The Kings are favored by 1.
I wouldn't either,
the money line is exactly the same for both teams, both minus 108 for both teams. So Vegas is essentially saying stay away.
Yeah, both these teams are very unpredictable.
Yes, just stay away from the 209, Chris. Mike Brown is not the coach to take us to championship contention. De'Aaron is not the star to take us to championship contention. There may not be a better coach out there, and therefore I understand keeping Brown, but I definitely do not see them taking that next step with him. De'Aaron does not have that fire in him like Edwards, Morant, or even Trae Young. He may have a better skill set and more promise, but that competitive factor is not there. That is from Junior G.
I almost feel like I would reverse that and say that De'Aaron does have the competitive spirit, but isn't as skilled as an Ant. Or, I mean, John Morant, I would say he's probably more skilled than, but Trae Young is incredibly skilled. I think De'Aaron actually is more of a competitor. Maybe not than Ant, but, Trae Young was taking – there was moments in that Atlanta game where Atlanta's lucky that game ended up being close because I was ready to fully roast them because they're the definition of an unserious basketball team. They were down 10 in that first quarter, and Trae Young had 2 30-plus feet threes, both of which were off. He ended up making one later in the game. And then they went for a lob to Larry Nance Jr. Or Larry Nance Jr. tried to posterize Sabonis again when they're down 10 in the first quarter. I just was like, these guys do not actually care about winning basketball games. They're just out here trying to highlight. But, I mean, I don't even know where that was going. But.
Yeah. They get a chance to right the ship. That is tonight, against Miami Heat. And they're a team who they need to hang around in the Eastern Conference as well. So not going to be a pushover. The Kings, they've lost to the Heat, and it was the Heat culture thing. They lost to the Heat in Miami. The Heat came out here. They were missing a bunch of people, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero. They lost to them again. What was it? Duncan Robinson felt like he had about 4 or 5 assists in that game. So how do the Kings respond? This is where we see whether or not this team is the same as the team that we had last season. Are they better? Are they worse? What is the situation there? We go around the NBA when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Carmichael Dave with a simple question. What are you thankful for this year? So many things to consider, but one thing we can all agree on is a well-running vehicle to get you where you need to go each and every day. Jiffy Lube would like to say thank you to all their customers this November. Whether a weekend road trip to Lake Tahoe or your daily commute to work, Jiffy Lube has you covered. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1984. Visit jiffylube.com today to find a location near you, generous oil change coupons, and more. Happy Thanksgiving and holiday driving from Jiffy Lube.
Ready to pre-game your next big arena event? Head to Beach Hut Deli, a Sacramento tradition for over 40 years, where aloha is served daily. Located just steps away from the arena, whether it's game day or concert night, it's the perfect spot to gather with friends and enjoy amazing sandwiches. Are you planning a bigger get-together? Beach Hut Deli offers endless catering options to bring those delicious flavors to your next party or event. Beach Hut Deli. Good vibes, great food, and epic times await.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Tesla, keeping it real to you. Saturday, November 9th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Tesla, live. The multi-platinum rock band returns with special guest, Fuel. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Tesla, keeping it real to you.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-329-1140.
In the bottom of the hour, more Kings throughout the show, of course. First tough loss. I mean, the Timberwolves' first game was tough, but I think the collective feeling was, okay, first game, Timberwolves just played against the Lakers, and they didn't want to go 0-2. There was a bit of desperation there. Kings starting to figure this thing out, and that's all fine and good. But this one against the Raptors, I don't want to put it, Chris, in the category. It's really tough because of the moving around, right? But and the Vince Carter, these are excuses. They are, but it doesn't mean that they're not true. I don't want to put it in the same realm of the Charlotte Hornets loss last season, the Pistons loss last season, the Blazers loss, those games that we refer to, Chris. I don't want to put it there, but I feel like there's nowhere else for it to go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that it can still be classified as one of those bad losses. I mean, they still didn't have Scotty Barnes, like the texter mentioned earlier. it still is a bad loss. I'm just more saying, or trying to put it out there, that there are legitimate reasons why that loss ended up happening. Like, it's not just that the team came out flat and there are a bunch of bums and, oh man, does this maybe signify something else bigger? I'm more just saying that there's legitimate reasons to the why of they played bad. I'm not saying they didn't play bad, or actually you should think of it this way. I'm just saying, if you're wondering why a team can look so good one night and then come out the next day or less than 24 hours later and look like a completely different team, there's legitimate reasons for it. And if I could throw in another extra excuse to it, the length of game, which they also log on Basketball Reference, the length of that Raptors Kings game was 2 hours and 58 minutes. The previous longest game the Kings had played was the third game of the season, 2 hours, 26 minutes. Now, granted, there's overtime in that, but it's also, they mentioned when they came back from halftime, the Vince Carter jersey retirement was supposed to go about 10 to 15 minutes, and I think they said it ended up going 25 to 30. So, again, another reason why maybe if you're a team that did come out a little bit slow and you're hoping, hey, second half, we can get on them early, get out to a big lead, and then have it be tough for them to kind of get that energy that they had in the first half back. Well, it was really two separate games in total with that long of a break. It's almost like the Super Bowl, where you have this long break that's completely different than your entire routine the rest of the season. And again, it's an excuse, it's a reason, it's whatever, but it is also a fact that you're not usually on that kind of warm-up schedule, and it just throws everything else off.
916-339-1140. Let's hear from TC. Wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Yes, sir. What's up, big dogs? How y'all doing, man?
Good, man. Got to get this W tonight.
Yeah, we got to get a W. The team is cooking, bro. I like how, we could have had that game. The only thing I don't like, bro, like, seriously, I know he was cooking and all right, but they both was cooking, right? DeMar and Fox. Let's keep it simple, bro. I didn't like that last shot, bro. That was a horrible shot, bro. You're like 0 for from 3-point. I don't care if you're cooking or not, bro. You swing that to Malik. Y'all both open. I know everybody's like, that's a scramble play. It's a couple seconds. No, bro. It was like 2 seconds left. He could have swung that. He jacked up the ball instead it got tipped, bro. Swing that to the homie Malik. He's going to knock that down, bro. Game time. I know that we want him to take those shots in that moment, but in that moment, bro, you got to realize, Fox, you got to swing that to the homie. I don't care about Fox is the elite player. We want him taking. Yes, we want him taking those shots, bro. If you're hitting, bro, we always talk about his three-pointers. We don't need 7 or 8 three-pointers from Fox this season. I don't care how good he's shooting percentage, bro. That shot was unacceptable, bro. You got to swing that to Malik, dog.
Yeah.
You have to, man. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Thanks for the call, TC. It's tough, man.
It reminds me a lot of the LeBron early conversation, the LeBron in his early career, where people would specifically Skip Bayless would say, oh, LeBron, you can't, what are you doing passing up those shots? Like, you are LeBron James. You're the one who's supposed to be the next Michael Jordan. Well, I'll tell you what, Michael Jordan would take that shot, and the retort was always, yeah, Skip, but he passed it to the wide open teammate. And so it doesn't matter if you are LeBron James and you're head and shoulders better than Zydrunas Ilgauskas and Saja Pavlovich. You're LeBron James. You still have to make the right basketball play. And it just felt like in that moment in time, De'Aaron didn't make the right basketball play. I'm not going to throw a ton of, extra on top of him. I don't think in that half second De'Aaron is thinking, oh, this is going to look good for my max extension or anything like that. All NBA put me on notice. I just feel like in that moment, he just, I don't think he even made an error. I just think he has the confidence in himself to shoot it and make it. That's fine. I think you'd rather have him have it than not. But at the end of the day, it was just the wrong basketball play. And I think that's the thing that frustrated me the most, is that you compound it with the 0 of 10 before that shot and the fact it just wasn't the right basketball play. To me, that's why it doesn't matter if it got tipped or not. It was just the wrong move in that moment. And I just think it was borderline inexcusable in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm looking here, Chris, again, De'Aaron, 43, and then to these minutes are adding up already,
overtime,
man.
Overtime.
Overtime. And you 43 minutes for Sabonis, 43 minutes for DeMar DeRozan, 39 minutes for Keegan Murray. Obviously, he fouled out. De'Aaron Fox, 43 minutes. He was 8 of 22 from the field, 0 of 11 from three-point range. He was 8 of 10 from free throw. I got to check in on De'Aaron Fox's free throws. Feels like he's doing
very
better.
high. Very high.
Feels like he's doing better this season, and he ends with 24 points. All right, let's take a trip, Nate, around the NBA. Chris, as we take a trip around the NBA, first of all, this is something that doesn't happen very often. All 30 NBA teams are in action today, with games starting every 15 minutes, starting at 4 p.m. So to get you ready for Monday Night Football, you can watch a ton of basketball, or you can pick basketball over the old NFL, whatever you like. Every team plays today, 15 games. Paul George expected to make his 76ers debut tonight versus Phoenix. So you have that going on with the Sixers. Also going on with the Sixers, this was some huge news. Joel Embiid pushes a reporter. There was some back and forth where the reporter wrote something, and in what he wrote in the piece, he brings up Embiid's son and Embiid's brother, who is now passed away. And Embiid basically said, well, not basically, he said, you can say I suck. You can say whatever you want about me as a player. Embiid reportedly told the reporter, don't ever put my dead brother's name in your mouth. Chris, I mean, let's just pause right there for a second. Just insane stuff, man. Insane stuff coming out of Philadelphia.
No, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, the story that was written was completely uncalled for, and you can criticize an athlete without bringing up what was brought up, and that's the weirdest part about it. Is in the write-up that the reporter wrote that got Embiid so mad, he pretty much just mentioned his late brother and father, essentially just to mention them, like didn't really, there was no point to it. It was just,
you're not honoring them because they're not playing.
That's pretty much what he said. And that's just
crazy,
completely uncalled for, out of line. It has nothing to do with his analysis at all.
Coach Popovich suffered a health issue before Saturday's game. Mitch Johnson will sub in indefinitely. Apparently he is okay and just needs rest. I mean, celebrity birthdays, man. He is no spring chicken. And we said this before when we faced when the Kings played the Spurs. I'm not really sure what the plan is for Pop. Is he trying to see this thing through and get another championship with Wemby? Or is he just trying to, usher in whoever is next? I know the Popovich tree is a big one. So little tough right there, Chris. And I'll
also
go ahead.
Weird reporting too, because Shams is the one calling it a health issue, but then there's a lot of local reporters that are just calling it, just saying he's, quote, under the weather. So again, conflicting reports, but all that is confirmed is that he will not be coaching these next two games. Very, very, very strange situation. And to answer your question, I would guess that it is just making sure that Wemby is taught the right things and make sure, just to kind of usher Wemby into his prime, if I had to guess, is just trying to get Greg Popovich to make sure that Wemby learns good habits and make sure that the Spurs franchise is set up for the future.
Ime Udoka on Buddy Hield joining the Warriors. Klay Thompson all over again. That's how they're using him. Buddy Hield continuing his hot stretch. And the Warriors are they're still cooking. They have the Wizards tonight, so you would think that's another W for them. I mean, these older teams, Chris, not that they're as old as maybe the Lakers, or they might be around there. Obviously, just wants to talk about Steph and Draymond. They want to get off to these hot starts because once the dog days come and Steph's already been injured, they really have dodged a bullet here with the way that they've been able to play with Steph out. And they haven't played slouches. I mean, the Rockets definitely could have lost to the Rockets, and the Pelicans, they're no slouch either, even without DeJounte Murray. So Warriors are still rolling there. And we got more beef, Chris. This is between Kevin Durant. This is something that's been going on for a while now between Kevin Durant and Stephen A. Smith. KD responds to Stephen A. Smith's comments on last week's episodes of First Take following last night's game. He's a clown to me. He's always been a clown. I've been in the league 18 years. I've never seen Stephen A. at a practice or a film session or a shoot-around. I've never seen him anywhere but on TV talking bleep about players and holding them to standards that he don't even hold himself to. Stephen A. responds.
The table.
Thank you. Yeah, that is crazy. He responds, I will not disrespect him the same way he disrespects me. This is Stephen A. It's unfortunate that no matter how old he gets, his sensitivity seems to heighten with it, and his maturity, it doesn't. But that's something he has to deal with, not me. He's a treasure to the game of basketball. I love seeing him play, and I sincerely wish that he doesn't get swept again in the playoffs like he has in the last 3 years.
But I'm not going to disrespect him the way that he disrespected me, right? That's insane. I just don't understand how Stephen A. I don't see what Kevin Durant said that's necessarily disrespectful to Stephen A. I think that that's just a fact. Like, Stephen A. is not showing up to these games. He's not being a real reporter like he used to be. And I think that's the problem, is that Stephen A. got the platform because he used to be somebody who was boots on the ground, was writing, was involved in the locker rooms. And now he's just somebody who talks and doesn't really have the time to go to the actual games and be in the locker rooms and talk to the people. He can just throw out insults and call people crazy and call people trash and all that, and just sit in his desk in New York while everybody else has to deal with the repercussions. I don't know. I'm not a Stephen A. guy.
Nah, I know. And a lot of people, look, it's hot and cold. You know, what that line is. We had a conversation before the show about whether, what the difference between what Stephen A. does and bringing up someone's brother like that reporter does as well. I mean, people are going to find out, right? One way or the other. And I don't think Stephen A. would ever get physical or anything like that. But Stephen A. is the same guy. You don't want to make an enemy out of me. And he said stuff like that. So he's very much we make fun of him when he walks into the arena, because he very much believes that he is the main character, even when people are going to watch the best NBA players in the world. Trey Lyles conversation is one a lot of people are having, and we become a part of it as well on the other side. 12 o'clock hour coming up. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Football season, and now you can get anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. Well, almost anything. You can't get a running back, but baby back ribs? Yes. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Black Friday is on its way at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, and there's no better place to shop for all your power tools. Low price Makita Bear tools starting at $89, Makita batteries starting at just $49, and many more of the year's hottest deals. November 25th through December 2nd. That's right, one whole week of crazy deals on power tools. So don't forget, our Black Friday sale will be November 25th through December 2nd. Check us out at 6701 Power Inn Road or online at fastenersinc.net.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Well, we have a couple 916 texts here.
Oh, boy.
People are not happy, Chris.
I can tell. Tell by your tone.
This first one, guys, I'm concerned that we've kind of convinced ourselves that we upgraded our bench. So far, coach doesn't have much to choose from. I hear everyone blaming Fox and Brown, but I'm looking at the vested one. You better balance this roster soon. From Jeff. Jeff, I got killed at the round table, the Knights of the Round Table, when I talked about the rotations and the depth, but you're right. Okay, it's Malik Monk, and these numbers, it's going to be tough, man. You got Malik Monk, Trey Lyles. That's really what we were leading into. Trey Lyles has not looked great at all. There's some numbers that say, even though he's not shooting well, he's still been a positive, but ultimately you're just getting by. You're not getting anything out of him, right? You don't just want to get by. I'll never forget, Chris, I was watching, or what's the name of that movie? It's called Couples Retreat. It's one of my favorite
Adam
movies.
Sandler, correct?
No. Couples Retreat is with Vince Vaughn.
Sounds like an Adam.
Yeah, it's all in the same realm. But Vince Vaughn.
Okay.
And they want to go to this island, and the only way they can go to the island is by doing the actual retreat type stuff.
Okay.
And in one of the couples, they're talking, and none of them think they have problems. Only one of them really feel like they have problems. So they're doing one of their counseling sessions, and the wife says, "Yeah, we make it through things."
Mm-hmm.
And the counselor says, "You don't want to look back at life and say you make it through things. You want to enjoy life." And I feel like that's where we're at with Trey Lyles. We're making it through, but we don't want to just make it through. We want to enjoy the bench. We want to enjoy our backup, our second gear guys coming in. And I feel like right now we're just making it through with Trey Lyles. And I think if he starts to hit shots, maybe we will more so enjoy it. But right now we're just making it through. But this is the one, Chris, that I had to tell you with this one right here from the 916. If Mike Brown keeps starting these garbage shooting guards, when is it fair to call Mike Brown a garbage coach? I'm sorry, but he's bad. Really, really bad. His coach of the year looks flukier by the day.
How about his other one?
Really getting tired of Mike Brown's stubborn BS.
Besides Doug McDermott, I'd just like to know the crappy starting lineup.
It's got to be Malik. It's got to be the Malik Monk stuff. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can read you the lineup things. I mean, yeah, I don't think either of us have said that Doug McDermott playing has been a good idea at all. I got really mad that first game when Mike Brown threw him in the fourth quarter. You got upset to start the show today that Mike Brown started Doug McDermott. So we have not been on the side of that argument at all. But I mean, yeah, I think that the Kevin Huerter signing or the Kevin Huerter starting has looked fine to me. I mean, Kevin looks like he picked up from that original Beam Team season form. He's been good on defense. I think I definitely don't agree with a lot of the rotational stuff that Mike Brown has done this year, but why does it have to be Mike Brown as a garbage coach?
I don't know.
That's the thing. Is just like, why can't we say, he's not doing a good job?
Right.
Why does it have to be, no, it means he's a garbage coach in total? By the way, 2 Coach of the Year awards. So.
Yeah, it's that's what it. I mean, there's no. You could even say he's overrated if you want.
100%.
Right? You could even say that, but I think we can. I don't know. I think there's a little hyperbole. I don't even think the 916 believes he is a garbage head coach. If so, I would love to see your ranking of other coaches.
Did you edit that text as well?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, there's something else in there that. Okay. Yeah. That was smart. That was smart. Smart by you.
Good job by you. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Kay, who wants to talk Kings. What's up, Kay? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got?
Yeah, man. I was just talking about the little. I heard Homeboy was saying something about the little pass that Fox should have did. And I'm like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Excuse my language, but if he would have took that shot and made it, he would have been the one. If he took that shot, missed it, is that problem. But if he would have passed it to homeboy and he put up, made it cool. But if he would have put up and missed it, it's like, you damn if you do, damn if you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The game is in that moment, and you do what you think is best, regardless of what you're talking about. You do. I mean, I get it. I understand totally. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Yeah. No, aren't we all, Kay? Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. It's a make or miss league. Okay? It's a make or miss league. You make that shot. Everybody's saying this is what we're talking about. De'Aaron Fox is that guy. You miss that shot, it becomes, should you have passed it? Should you have even taken it? You know, the 0 for 10 is the problem for me. Chris and I have gone back and forth. Chris wouldn't have really liked it either way, even if he was 5 of 10 so far, because Malik Monk probably it's just a better basketball play. But 0 of 10 is crazy. 0 of 10 means you've tried to shoot through it, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to see when's the previous 3-pointer he took, and we can look that up, because 0 of 10 means you try. At 0 of 7, brother, it might not be your night.
Yeah, you might want to shut the faucet off.
0 of 8. Okay, I'm just trying to get something. You know, I'm not, you playing the prop talk game and you miss on one lineup and another.
Yeah,
you just
he's playing the law of averages.
I got to hit on one of these bad boys. Next thing you know, you're down $50, Chris. Next thing you know, you're down 50, and you said you're only going in with 20.
Down.
Yeah, you think Black is going to hit.
No.
Okay, and all right, well, there's no way Black hits twice. There's no way Black hits 5 times.
No, it hit 11 times.
11 times.
It hit 11 times.
And the last time was to really tick off your wife, and now you got to go home. The last time was the ultimate L. So 24 points, not a bad game for De'Aaron Fox. Are we in the category of he needs a bounce-back game today?
It would be nice for sure. I mean, again, he did play well in that Atlanta game. It's just the second night of a back-to-back really just looked completely wiped and done, really. I mean, that performance, and that's not an excuse at all. I mean, that is more so just, again, you should probably know yourself a little bit better in those moments. Yeah, I mean, it feels like maybe emotionally, De'Aaron will tell you that, obviously he leaves the building. He doesn't think about it. He's not carrying the weight of that game over to the next, but it would be nice to kind of start to, because it wasn't just this game. I mean, De'Aaron has had a couple shaky performances, a couple really good performances too this season, but a couple shaky performances that I think have led people, especially with his contract being such a big talking point this offseason, to just asking questions like you love to do. Just ask some questions and wonder, hey, are we sure that everything we think is 100% true is in fact a fact? I think it's fair to ask. And I mean, I definitely think in general, De'Aaron, he doesn't need to quiet people because we know he doesn't really look or care about that kind of stuff. But there will be chattering going around Golden One Center on Wednesday if they don't win today. And a large reason is because maybe De'Aaron Fox continues to just kind of look a little inconsistent.
Yeah, the 916 says, I should have clarified. Since the start of last season, Mike Brown has been a garbage coach. I'm sorry, but he has. This is from the 916, Chris, and I want to get the kind of the clutch numbers on this because I know you're really good at finding those, and there is actual evidence, because this is something that I told you during the break. This is from the 916. Fox has not been clutch in the last minute scenarios for like 1.5 years now, 1.5 years now. And I also said, okay, you have the Timberwolves game where he had an opportunity to take the lead. He missed that midi. I'm thinking back to last season, Chris. He had, I think it was before he had the jump shot that he missed against the Celtics when they essentially tried to give the Kings that game. He missed that shot. These are just off the top of my head. And then obviously this dead red 3 that he missed. So I don't know what his clutch points actually look like since he won the award, but it does feel like we had the situation last season where I think it was a foul, but it wasn't a foul. And then when the 2-minute report came out against the Suns in that really important game, that elbow jumper that he thought he got fouled, he didn't. So it does feel like De'Aaron hasn't really been hitting these clutch shots. Now we know the clutch numbers, it's larger than, it's not just buzzer beater shots or shots to take the lead with 5 seconds left, whatever it is. But it does feel like he's kind of missing on those lately.
Last 5 minutes, 5-point game is the requirements for clutch points and clutch minutes to be registered. Last season, for what it's worth, De'Aaron Fox in terms of totals was 5th most points in the clutch. He did shoot it at 43.9%, which in the top 5, Damian Lillard shot 41%. DeRozan last season shot 48% and had more points in the clutch. Steph shot 49%. De'Aaron last season in the clutch, 7 of 32 from 3, 21%. That's definitely not ideal. This season so far, De'Aaron Fox in terms of totals in the clutch, 12 total points. That puts him tied for 16th in the NBA. Only 4 of 9, 44%, 20% from 3 in clutch moments, 1 of 5. DeMar DeRozan has continued to be that clutch guy, though. To be fair, DeMar DeRozan hasn't shot well percentage-wise in the clutch, but has 18 clutch points. That's 6th most in the NBA. He's 6 of 15, 40% in clutch moments, and also shooting 20%, 1 of 5 from 3 in clutch moments so far this year. De'Aaron and DeMar have both not missed a free throw for what it's worth so far in clutch time.
Well, there you have it. And again, there's clutch, and then I'm just thinking those game-tying shots and game-winning shots, and just doesn't seem that De'Aaron, and I'm not saying there's a ton of opportunities, but I do feel like he's been in the mix to take them and hasn't really made too many of them. It's still early. They win in Miami, and they're still on track for what we believe they were going to do during this 11-game stretch. But you lose tonight, and people might be tuning in saying this is crazy. It's an 82-game season, but it goes quick, man. And then when you have teams that are doing things you didn't expect them to do, I know the Lakers have cooled off, but those pesky Warriors and what they've been doing, and you have the Suns who have looked good, the Mavs have looked good. Every team has, I think, dropped the game that they haven't wanted to drop, but you just have to make up. The bottom line is you just got to make up for it somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to start winning some games that people don't expect you to. I was looking at last season's record. The team, though they did disappoint last year, they were 2-4 at this point in the season last year, and then ended up at the end of the season being 10 games over 500. They went on a nice little 6-game win streak pretty much at this point in the year last year in order to kind of put themselves above that 500 record and then never looked back. Hopefully the Kings can do a similar thing here, sitting at 500, 6 games in. Hopefully the run is coming here pretty soon where they can kind of keep their heads above water in terms of that 500 line, and then hopefully at some point extend past 10 games, where last year that was the real boogeyman. They just could not get 11 games over 500. Hopefully this year they can kind of reverse course. But again, last year at this point, 2-4, and then in their 7th game would get the first win of what would be a 6-game road trip to put the team at 8-4, and then never really looked back in terms of 500.
Yeah, a couple people here, Lisa Watson on the Sack Chat, and someone on the text line as well. Mike Brown does not trust his bench, and he needs to get over it. Starters can't play 45 minutes. Toronto coach used his bench. I'm just looking here at the numbers. And obviously, there was, like you said, Chris, overtime. But looking at some of the numbers here, only one Toronto Raptor played 40 minutes. And that was RJ Barrett, and he played exactly 40 minutes. You had Jakob Poeltl with 34, who I believe he fouled out. Davion Mitchell played 37 minutes in his revenge attempt, 0-for-2 from three-point land. He did have a nice Euro step, and he got to the basket. I think he picked somebody's pocket as well. Abaji, 36 minutes. Grady Dick, 38 minutes. Chris Boucher, 25 minutes. Felt like he played 55 minutes. Battle, 15. Mugbo, 16. Sheed, 14. Walter, 10. Again, Sabonis, 43 minutes. DeRozan, 43 minutes. McDermott, 15. Keegan Murray, 39, who fouled out. He would have got to 40 if he didn't foul out. De'Aaron Fox, 43. They played 9 guys, but McLaughlin only played 5 minutes, whereas the Toronto Raptors played 10 guys, and all 10 of those guys got double-digit minutes. 916 is Panic Talk is crazy. Well, let's talk about it then on the other side. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
This panic talk is crazy, says the 916. Well, if we're going to go all the way there, let's go all the way there. Again, it's not panic talk. It's you have to make up for these losses. I understand that they were traveling. I understand that they had to go from Atlanta and then they were in Toronto. I understand all that. The bottom line is at least you got to do it against the Raptors. There's going to be other teams that end up in situations like this, and those will be straight-up schedule losses because they're not going to have the Raptors. They're going to end up in Denver, okay? When you talk about schedule loss, a lot of times people do keep in account who you're playing. Oh, we were in Memphis, and the next night we had to go to Minnesota. We were in Dallas one night, then we had to go to Golden State. We were in Boston one night, then we had to go to Phoenix. That's what we typically talk about. It's hard to sell the schedule loss because the Raptors are not good.
Can we just call it a trap game then?
Sure. I think
I'm
that's
okay better
with,
than yeah.
Yes. I'm just looking here, Traptors. Chris, as people are the Traptors.
Yeah, that was solid. That was super solid.
Had to.
Like trap. It's also track. I almost thinking tractor as well.
Yeah.
It's like a raptor on a tractor.
What is that?
That's their logo for the Raptors.
They could, I did see somebody make a Raptors logo with like a raptor in a tank because they should tank this season for Cooper Flag. It's a pretty good logo.
I like that.
It's a pretty good logo.
I like that.
Yeah.
916, even on a back-to-back, we lost to Grady Dick, Jakob Poeltl, and RJ Barrett. Who? With 5 question marks. Yeah. Don't sleep on Grady Dick's kind of been cooking. That was really my first time watching him besides some highlights. He's kind of nice.
Yeah. I added him on my fantasy basketball team a couple days ago, and I was very, very surprised to see that he's putting them up. Like he can really. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how good he ends up being. Like in terms of he's definitely a player. Like for sure. Yeah, Grady Dick is going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, look in here, Chris. As people say, hey, don't panic yet. The Thunder still undefeated at 6-0. The Suns are 5-1. Ooh. They take on the Sixers, who will have Paul George tonight. The Warriors are 5-1. The Mavericks are 4-2. The Lakers are 4-2. The Grizzlies are 4-3. The Timberwolves 3-3. Bunch of 3-3 teams. Timberwolves, Spurs, Rockets, Nuggets, Kings, and then you have the Pelicans at 3-4. Yes, it's very early, but this is what we're saying here, right? You blink, it's 20 games in, and it's okay, well, I guess we're not getting the 1 seed. You blink, you're 30 games in. Okay, I guess we should start looking at the 4 seed. That's literally the exercise that we went through last season. That's the exercise that I'm trying to, that I hope the Kings are trying, not me, I'm not on the court, But that's the exercise I'm hoping the Kings will try to avoid. From the 209, when talking about Fox, he's 0 of 11, he needs to drive and distribute. He needs to get his float game going. Even that has been off. Again,
preach.
The finger has been an issue, and you live by the 3, die by the 3. Chris, as we were discussing, a lot of the time when you do look at the spacing thing, I think De'Aaron is looking at himself as the spacing option in this lineup simply because, yes, you have Keegan Murray, and when you don't have Kevin Huerter right now, but when you do, the big 3, I mean, I know Sabonis has been shooting threes, but De'Aaron is the best shooter out of those 3 guys, right? Out of the big 3, De'Aaron's the best 3-point shooter.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's better 3-point shooter percentage-wise, especially than DeMar. We've seen DeMar take a couple, but he's clearly very, very uncomfortable with it. Like, he only takes threes if it's like I'm taking a 3.
Only the corner.
If I am going to take a 3 in pickup game, it is going to be because I'm wide open and somebody's probably already yelled, shoot it. And I'm like, all right, I guess I will.
Yeah.
That's the type of shooter DeMar is. So yes, 100%. I mean, I might be with you where you said like you wouldn't have been surprised if Sabonis got that last shot for game. I kind of don't know how I feel on Domantas Sabonis versus De'Aaron Fox's shooters.
Oh, well, I'm not saying that, Chris.
I don't think De'Aaron Fox is a shooter. I just don't. Like, I think he can hit mid-ranges, but I think there's a very big difference between like what has been a high school college 3 for him and then the NBA 3. I do not feel confident at all with De'Aaron Fox taking threes. He can take as many long free throw line extended jumpers as possible. I have faith that those are going to go in, but from a 3-point perspective, I have seen Domantas Sabonis' 3-point shot go in more consistently than I have seen De'Aaron Fox's 3-point shot go in.
Different, yes, but
different
again,
levels.
Different
for sure.
levels.
Different
I mean, I don't know if there was enough
one
time
should
on the
probably
clock.
be at the level that the other one is at. I'm not saying Sabonis should take 11 threes.
Here's a better question: if you were to run that play, would you have rather the DeMar DeRozan fadeaway 3, or just they're going to let Sabonis live with it, just a wide open 3 from Domantas Sabonis straight away?
Hey man, open looks from a guy who shot 40.
I can hear the calls and texts now.
You
ran a play for Domas to shoot a 3.
Keegan Murray,
but you didn't have Keegan.
I'm just telling you, it don't matter. It don't matter. People would say it anyway.
You did have Doug, and we checked it. Yeah. Doug did play during the
fourth quarter.
The
overtime lineup.
He was not in there in the fourth in the overtime lineup, and I think it would have been nice. He's good enough to start
for sure. I think I might take the Sabonis open look. I think I might.
I told you.
I think I might.
I told you right now. 916-339-1140. Let's hear what Spees wants to say. What's up, Spees? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, Stiles and Watkins?
What's
I just want to say everybody should let go of that last shot. Just talking about he should have swung it to Monk. No, he shouldn't have. That's his shot to take. If Keegan Murray's not on the field, we could thank the refs for that. That was kind of cheating. But I wanted to say it was 2 plays down the last stretch in that overtime where Fox and DeRozan should have actually passed it to Monk, and they didn't do it. Had they done that, we wouldn't be in this situation because they both got turnovers.
Yeah.
And so those were the times where I was mad that they didn't swing it to Malik Monk, who had a little bit of a hot hand that night too. And it's just like they sold him out in overtime, and that's just not right. He took less money. He should be getting those shots. Y'all should be worried about making him the 6th man of the year. He's taking all the sacrifices here.
It's a good call, Spees, especially, and thanks for it, especially when Keegan Murray was out. You were down Kevin Huerter. And I mean, like I said, De'Aaron Fox was colder than this studio right now. And I have had, you say, oh, real quick, sidebar. Do you say goosebumps or cold bumps?
Oh, goosebumps. I've never heard cold bumps.
Goosebumps.
Cold bumps? No, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I've never.
No.
Yeah.
Chris Verlod, cold bumps, goosebumps. Oh,
you know, like the goosebumps, like the books, you know?
R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
Nobody says 916-339-1140. Anybody says cold bumps?
I've literally never even heard
or just
that.
Goosebumps. No. Whatever it is, I got them. And I got them when I watched De'Aaron take that last shot as well. By the way, based on what Spees was talking about, we have the last 2-minute report just to tick people off.
Yeah, why not?
Officials missed 2 calls in Toronto. RJ Barrett should have been called for traveling with 17.3 seconds to go in the fourth when it was 119 to 118 Toronto at the time. And Grady Dick should have been called for a foul on Fox with 1 minute and 1 second left in overtime when it was 126 to 125 Toronto at the time. So,
great.
Do we feel better?
Yeah, actually, there you go. You can throw that into the excuse pile, into the reasons why the Kings didn't win, is also because the refs were against them. Clearly, I mean, obviously they were all there for Vince's retirement and to see Aubrey, stare down DeMar DeRozan. And clearly you can add the refs being in the bag for the Raptors as another reason the Kings lost.
707. Well, I was reading something and something else came in. 707 says, live and die by the Fox. This is 8 years of this same consistent play. That would be wasted money on him. Trade him right now while we can. And the 916 says, cold bump sounds like you need to see the doctor.
It does.
Thank you very much, 916. Somebody else says it. I didn't make it up, or maybe my mom did. All right. We will tie a bow on the Kings conversation for now, and then obviously in the 1 o'clock hour, we'll get you ready for Kings Heat. And will it be Colby Jones starting? Who will be starting in place of Kevin Huerter if he can't go? And we have a little bit of Niners to get into as well when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, reminding you that every deal at Folsom Lake Ford is a slam dunk. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, including America's best-selling truck for over 47 years, Ford F-Series, plus a huge selection of Broncos, Bronco Sports, and all of Ford's award-winning SUVs at FolsomLakeFord.com. Listen, I know a great play when I see one, and if you want to save on a new Ford, you got to drive the lane straight to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest financing, and Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. So hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they're my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop them online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Don't miss Stoney's Rockin' Rodeo's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night with a free tri-tip dinner. That's right, free tri-tip dinner and free late-night biscuits and gravy. So don't miss Stoney's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night, plus free dance lessons, sing some karaoke, or ride Stoney's mechanical bull. I'll see you on the dance floor.
At the law offices of Dale R. Gomes, we understand that when you're facing a crisis, you need more than just a lawyer. You need a team. Our dedicated attorneys work together, combining decades of experience to guide you through personal injury or criminal defense matters with care and expertise. We're committed to supporting you every step of the way, ensuring your voice is heard and your rights are protected. With offices in Sacramento and El Dorado County, reach out to the law offices of Dale R. Gomes today, 916-999-9033, or online at dalegomslaw.com.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Get in on the action at Sky River Casino. With over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room, you'll enjoy a casino experience on a whole new level. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, Call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Don't you deserve healthcare you can count on? Well, you can count on United Healthcare with Medicare plans that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. You can enjoy reliable coverage and low out-of-pocket costs with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plans, made for California, trusted everywhere. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports, halfway through the third hour. Been a quick show today.
Very. I know. These shows, ever since the season started, they've been flying.
They have been flying by, and hopefully the Kings are flying high.
That's right.
Tonight against the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, Chris, a team that I don't really know what to do with them so far. Here is what they've done. They lost to the Magic. Obviously, this is with Paolo Banchero. They lost to the Magic. They kind of got smacked by the Magic to start their season. At home, they lost to the Magic. They beat the Hornets in Charlotte. They beat the Pistons. They lost to the Knicks. They beat the Wizards. So they've played bad teams and good teams, and they've really this is a good test for both teams because they're essentially similar level between the Kings and the Heat, and they both beat. Well, the Kings also lost to the Raptors, who are bad, but they've both lost to good teams, and they've beaten the bad teams. So nobody really knows where they fall yet.
Yeah, no, it's been a really confusing season for the Heat so far. Like you said, I mean, they've really kind of stayed chalk and beaten who they're supposed to beat and lost to. I wouldn't say who they're supposed to lose to, but I think that it is more so a sign that maybe they are just the Heat that they've always been, and that's a team that kind of rides in the middle offensively and defensively. We know that they bring a certain level of edge and intensity, but they kind of miss that big punch, and that's the thing that the Kings have to try and bring. I think offensively is really where they're going to win this game. Of course, if Miami gets going offensively, that's not going to be great, and you definitely want your defense to still be there, but ultimately there is a number out there where Miami just cannot reach with how they score the basketball. And I think if the Kings can put up 115, 120 in a game tonight, I think that they should be able to beat Miami pretty easily. I think they have the better talent, but more times than not, with how well Miami is coached, they can definitely kind of they shouldn't surprise you, but they can surprise you and really be more physical than what I think a lot of teams expect them to be this early in the year. But this should be like Miami at the beginning of the year is about as soft as you're going to get them. So if you can't get them now, it's not a great sign.
There you go. We will get back into the Kings in the 1 o'clock hour. Get you ready with a little bit of prop talk and dog segment as well. But we turn to the Niners, Chris. Well, they got the week off, but it didn't really do them any favors in not past just getting healthier, right? Another week to get healthy, get some rest. The Niners will take on the Bucs, who play tonight. They play the Chiefs tonight. The Bucs do in Monday Night Football. And then they face the Niners. Kind of rough week to be a Buccaneer fan or the Buccaneers. Maybe they'll have Mike Evans back.
It's also pouring rain right now in Kansas City. Yeah.
Oh, man.
There you go.
In here.
There you go. 49ers at Buccaneers. That is this Sunday at 10 a.m. So, Chris, this came from my guy, Sterling Bennett, who covers the Niners. You can check out his YouTube 49ers Access. And he said this last night after all the NFC West games were done. And Nate, I want to get your thoughts on this as well. Today was the worst possible outcome for the 49ers bye week. The Cardinals win to remain in first. The Rams jump to second place ahead of the 49ers. The 49ers drop to third place, and the two teams ahead of them currently own the tiebreakers. So this is what can happen when you're idle, right? You can't lose, right, but other teams can win. So with that being said, as the Niners now are looking to get back on track and do some winning of their own and take control of their own destiny, they'll do it, Chris, against a Bucs team who is pretty beat down, right? Their two-headed monster, Rashad White and Bucky Irving. We'll see what they do against Spagnuolo's defense and Baker Mayfield, more specifically, without having Chris Godwin. We know that kind of controversial situation that happened. So they get the Bucs in Tampa, who they played pretty well against. Brock Purdy's played pretty well against the Bucs. Then this is where what everybody's been talking about. You have the Seahawks, who the Niners just kind of own at this point. Right. That's at home.
But you have to win it.
You have to win it.
You know, because that's if you lose that's then another team that's in the mix.
Oh, you have to win that game.
You have to win that.
I think they will win it, but you have to win it. After that, the Packers, look, with Jordan Love, he can't stay healthy again.
That's in Lambeau.
Yeah, it's in Lambeau. We'll see what the weather looks like, but it feels like that is easier than we initially thought. You could give, even if you want to give the Bills that W, I still think that the Niners have a good situation here. The Bears are a complete mess, even though their record isn't terrible. I don't know if you saw we played the DJ Moore sound last week with DJ Moore saying, Coach Sotos is saying house. There is now a video circulating of DJ Moore leaving a play while the play was live. I don't know if he thought Caleb Williams was going to throw it away. I don't know, but it's circulating everywhere. He's downfield trying to get open, and he just walks off the field. So the Bears, good defense, not really worried about it. And then really, Chris, you get the Rams, who they're getting healthy and then they're not healthy, but they're starting to heat up a little bit. Dolphins, I'm not a big – you just saw the play.
I just saw the DJ Moore play.
Yeah, he just walks off.
Speaking of the Bears, too, under Eberflus, I believe they're 0-18 on the road. It is at Levi's.
Yep.
Yeah. So crazy stuff there. Yeah. And then you have the Dolphins, who just not a big believer in Tua, not a big believer in the Dolphins at this point in time. Lions, at that point, you might get lucky. Lions might have locked something up.
Maybe, at that point.
Because if I'm the Lions, I wouldn't want to show anything to the Niners.
Not them.
So the Lions, you almost at this point, you dang near you root for the Lions at this point.
Yeah, you should.
If and they just concede.
I'm good.
I mean, you're not going to, but then you better win.
The Lions too. I mean, I think a lot of people would agree they're an emotional team, right? A lot of their team is built on that rah-rah, and people usually use that as a negative context. They're like, oh, rah-rah doesn't win you games. Dan Campbell is like the epitome of that, and it's working, and they're playing well.
But Jared Goff isn't, though. I would say it helps that Jared Goff – I don't think Dan Campbell and Baker would be a good mix.
Sure. What I'm trying
fire and fire.
What I'm trying to say, though, is they're an emotional team. Look what they did against the Cowboys. So last year they got screwed, right, on the penalty to the touchdown to the tackle or whatever out on the end. So they made it a point this year to just keep giving the ball when they played Dallas, run up the score on them and keep giving the ball to these tackles and get them involved so that they might not keep everything in their back pocket against the Niners. They might want revenge and want to absolutely kill the Niners. If they get the chance, because they might not see him in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, to be honest, is it similar to, I know they didn't start out as hot, but kind of Nate is giving me vibes to when the Niners faced the Eagles. And all they wanted to do was just give it to the Eagles. And ultimately the Eagles really crumbled after that. So if memory serves correct, the Lions could be thinking, we are going to empty it because we don't think that we'll see you again because we don't think you're very good. And by that time, we'd know a lot. To be fair, I think the Eagles game was earlier on in the season. By this time, we'd know what's going on with the Niners.
Yes,
Are they in contention? Are they fighting for a wild card? So I think the Lions, I don't think you're wrong, Nate. I just think because of the timing, the Lions might be able to save themselves from themselves.
I was playing a bit of devil's advocate too, but it's just they're a very fascinating team to watch, the Lions, just how they how they do business. I don't know if we want to get to it now. We don't have a bunch of time, but a bunch of updates coming out of the Niners health-wise, so that are all positive. So
great.
If we want to,
we'll do that. We'll do that on the other side. The Lions, that is December 30th. So the Lions will take on the Niners there, and then the Niners end their season January 5th with the Cardinals. And Chris got off the train too soon.
Insane.
But
insane.
I will say this with the Cardinals, very similar to, and we never really hear about Kyler Murray's hand size like we do with other QBs.
Correct.
I still need to see the Cardinals play well in December. I'm not believing in the Cardinals until they play well in December.
Very fair.
They just haven't done it yet. Kyler gets banged up. It's cold. Okay, he doesn't want to get knocked down when it's cold, whatever it is.
New Call of Duty's out.
New Call of Duty's been out. He's got a partnership deal with them now. I'm not really taking the Cardinals seriously until I see them do something, and that's when the Niners will face them in January.
Yeah.
So by that time, we'll know if it was real or not, and if it is real, then the Cardinals, they might not need that game. So a lot remains to be seen, but we will get to the injury updates on the other side for the San Francisco 49ers. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The quest for ring number 6 happens here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Listen on Sacktown Sports for all the 49ers action.
Jennings went up and took it away. What a catch by JJ! He scored 3 touchdowns today.
Quest for 6 lives here on your local sports leader, Sacktown Sports 1140.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Paid for by government. Now is the time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan Silver Dollar. That's a $59.95 value and free shipping. Call 1-800-222-3967 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan Silver Dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3967.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
The shot clock is ticking, and your home team is driving up the court. But don't miss your chance to score big at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Save on a new Accord, HRV, Ridgeline, or the all-new Prologue before the buzzer sounds on year-end deals. Don't get benched by high prices. Slam dunk your savings today.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
earnings based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage. Breathe easy.
The next election is November 5th. Vote centers open October 26th. Remember to vote early and avoid the lines. Learn more at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
Nate's got us with some Niners injury updates. And wow, I'm seeing one from Adam Schefter that is huge, but I'm not going to steal your thunder. Valley, Nate. What you got for us, Nate?
Okay, my bad. Sorry, that got me. So the Niners obviously had a bye week this week. It went pretty bad for them, all things considered, things they can't control. So it's time for them to take control of what they can. They had a bonus practice during the bye week. I guess this is pretty common. I was texting with our Sacktown Sports insider Emil today just to make sure I got my facts straight. He was telling me a couple things. Apparently, he's down there, and this isn't apparent. He's actually down there in Santa Clara at practice. Usually, they let him out there for a little while. He told me that they were out for 45 seconds, and Emil could be being a little dramatic there. You know, it could have been 5 minutes or something, but they brought him out there for this bonus practice and then basically sent him right back inside. And by they, I mean the media. So that's a little strange, but Emil did see Christian McCaffrey practicing. Mm-hmm. He saw John Feliciano practicing, Jawan Jennings, and Jake Moody. Those are 4 key pieces, obviously some bigger than others. But CMC is back and is completely trending towards playing against Tampa Bay, which is pretty awesome. To put it, if I'm putting my 2 cents in.
Yeah, I mean that's nuts. I mean, we had people being me saying he's going to get shut down for the season. Not me, but other people saying, is he going to play again? So
yeah.
He sounds like he's going to be back.
It sounds like he's going to be back. We just don't know what that'll look like. Obviously, completely transforms the offense. The Niners have not ran a lot of screens or anything. That was very prominent with CMC lining up his receiver or however they lined him up out of the pistol, anything. And then Dre Greenlaw. Let me just add, this practice today is a bonus practice, so it is lighter than a normal practice. It's not as far as I understand, like a full contact practice. Mm-hmm. It's one of those, and again, it's not a walkthrough. It's somewhere in between. It's some.
Probably are they in shells? Yeah, they're probably.
I would imagine. Yeah, Emil was only out there for a short amount of time, but it's not a normal practice. We'll just say that. Mm-hmm. But it is good to see all these guys out there. Jawan Jennings dealing with the hip problem, back out there. Hopefully he's 100%. Jake Moody too. Anders Carlson has been okay for the Niners. They hung around it. I wouldn't say they lost any games because of a kicker. And then Dre Greenlaw, from what I've been hearing, me and Emil have been talking about this for a few weeks now on Return of the Empire. If you're interested in 49ers talk, Dre Greenlaw is looking to return a few weeks after CMC. It's pretty vague on that too, but looks like down this home stretch, the Niners might be at full force outside of Ayuk, and that could be a little scary. And then we also have the trade deadline tomorrow, which I believe is 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m.
The only thing going on tomorrow. Right?
The only thing going on tomorrow that I care about. Yeah. And it's going to be we'll have a fun show hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully all the news doesn't drop tonight and it drops during our show tomorrow, but I'm excited. I also just saw we're talking a lot about the Lions. They talked to the Raiders about Max Crosby, but were shut down. Apparently Crosby, the only team he would go to is the Lions. Don't know. I was reading this on SI. and they also are apparently in talks and getting closer to a deal with Zadarius Smith, who's out in Cleveland, someone I really wanted to see on the 49ers and still might see before the deadline's over. But overall, Niners are looking pretty well.
Yeah.
Two things. Nick Wagner also put out that Trent Williams said that not only was it great to see McCaffrey out on the field, but noted Dre Greenlaw, who Nate just mentioned there. Dre Greenlaw did some running on the side with a helmet. So that's at least a step in the right direction.
Man. How long did it take you to start running, Alan?
I think
I know it's way different.
Start running.
Yeah, I remember the day you came in. I won't bring it up, but it was silly when you started running.
I don't remember.
You're like, you see that video of me running?
I'm back. I'm back. Look, I'll tell you this much. I think it was on the NBC Sports Bay Area podcast with the Niners team reporter, but
right.
I will say it seems like that defense, they really feed off Dre Greenlaw. And they keep saying, I can't remember the nickname that they have for him, but they keep saying when we get him back, we're going to be cooking. Now, I'm not saying it's as big as Christian McCaffrey, but I think they are really looking
they're excited.
Devondre Campbell's horrible.
Yeah.
He's so bad.
Yeah,
it's
you could argue the difference between McCaffrey and the running back core versus Devondre and Dre Greenlaw. You could say that there's a bigger difference with Devondre and Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah. I think not having CMC in the offense, they're basically at 80% when it comes to play calls. Maybe even less than that, maybe 70, 75. But Dre Greenlaw, man, he's a spark. It's a cliche, but him and Fred are thunder and lightning. He's the thunder, Fred's the lightning. Fred's like the fastest man coverage guy, just jumps around, and then Dre lays the hits, and he's a threat at all times, and he'll intercept you too. We saw it happen in the playoffs, so I cannot wait to see those guys back.
Yeah, if you're wondering, hey, why did Max Crosby say only the Lions? Is he a front runner? Well, he may be, but he's also from Michigan. He was born in Lapeer, Michigan, and he went to college in Michigan. He went to Eastern Michigan. So that is why he has that connection to the Lions. Yes, and it doesn't. Yeah, I was going to say, if you're a Vikings fan, you don't want that to happen. Because then what happens is, let's say they win it. Right, I'm going to say, because I saw something yesterday morning that said that Hutchinson might not be done for the season.
Please be done.
I've seen
I don't want to see that.
He could come back for the Super Bowl, which is not.
No, whenever that happens,
that's
anybody
ever
ever
happened. They always say that, but it's just, why would you
Can
do
they
that?
not?
Please. That would be.
Maybe he'll be available, but won't play.
He'll be on a snap count.
Yeah, exactly, and that snap count.
We're monitoring him for keep him healthy.
Now it sounds like Christian McCaffrey. Hey, if we were in the Super Bowl tomorrow,
yeah, right, I would play.
Maybe he'd be questionable.
Right.
There you go.
Maybe
game time decision.
Yeah, he definitely would be doubtful at very worst. So yeah, this is great stuff. If you are a Niners fan and whether or not they can get back on track, that's ultimately going to be the question here. I mean, we just read off the schedule in the last segment. The Bucs team, like Nate said, it sounds like it's nasty out there.
If I could add one more thing too, the last 2 weeks, the Niners have played two teams coming off buys, which we're talking about the Kings schedule earlier. That's pretty brutal. Niners also have 2 Thursday night games this year, and the second one isn't even on Thanksgiving, which is so dumb. But they do get a little help because the Bucs coming off the short week, Monday Night Football, right? So that is nice for the Niners' sake, and really unfair to the Bucs.
Yeah, the Bucs, that's a rough go, and it's just kind of rough timing.
Chiefs to Niners,
yeah, Chiefs
short week.
Chiefs to Niners, short week. The Bucs are
they're down bad.
They're down bad. They get Chiefs at Chiefs. They host the Niners. Then it gets a little softer after that. They go to New York to take on the Giants. They go to Carolina. Carolina got a W.
Hey,
Derek Carr will definitely be talked about later in this show.
Yikes.
Then speaking of, the Raiders take on the Bucs. So the Bucs go to LA. Then Chris, they have the Cowboys, who will be a different version of the Cowboys. Maybe they'll have Dak back by then. They get the Panthers and the Saints. So rough stretch for the Bucs, but they're not necessarily done.
No,
they're not necessarily done, especially in that NFC South.
I don't trust that division.
Yeah, it's a complete mess, and it's probably going to be the Bucs, and then we'll see what happens after that. Nate, do you think that Christian McCaffrey will come back on some type of snap count or something like that?
Yeah, Probably. Will they? I mean, definitely he will. But it's who's going to be behind him, really, which is interesting because Jordan Mason is just dealing with this. I believe it's his AC joint, and from what I understand, it's all pain tolerance. And that guy's so tough. I mean, just watch the way he runs. So it must be unbearable. They obviously like Garendo. They like all the rookies this year for the most part. But I think CMC will get eased in, and if you're going to ease him in during this gauntlet of tough games, let's do it with Tampa Bay. I know it's in Tampa, but let's get him some touches. Let's make sure he's comfortable because he's not going to play at 70%. CMC is going to play at 110. He's going to go nuts. He's going to be so excited to be back. It's so important for the team to get back on track. Right now, they got to start stringing wins where they can. I personally don't think they're going to beat Buffalo in 2 weeks, right? So this is a tough one that you gotta take control and win.
Yeah, and where they're at now, I was about to say, well, do you just hold on to CMC for Buffalo? But they're just not really in a position to do that.
I think you got to wean him in. I think you got to wean him in. I really do.
Yeah, and there's no way. I mean, we know how bad he's wanted to play, so there's just no way he's even going to allow that to happen. So there you have it with the Niners, and as they continue to push forward and try to get back on the winning side of things, they have a chance to do it against a team that's literally playing tonight. So you talk about a quick turnaround for the Bucs. They're literally playing tonight, and not just playing. They're not playing the Panthers. They are playing the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll see what happens with the Bucs, man. They need every win just like every team does. But if this thing gets out of hand, we know it's ugly out there, which might favor the Bucs. Neither running back really is a power back with.
They're
Bucky
a pass
Irving.
heavy team too.
They are. And Baker, we'll do prop talk later, but I'm thinking last week, Chris, especially with no Godwin, last game for the Bucs, both running backs. You know, I love that running back, the running back checkdowns,
pass.
Especially in the rain. Last week, both hit their numbers. So you can pick one, maybe both of them hit because I think it's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of Cade Otton. That's what I'm looking. That's what I'm looking at today. Well, he's been my boy before. Let's see if he'll be my boy. Be my boy tonight. Top stories at the top of the hour when we return. Anthony Richardson. How bad is it for Anthony Richardson? And a Dominican player basically takes the I am 12 joke into real life. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Robinhood is introducing forecast contracts so you can trade the presidential election. Through Robinhood, you can now trade financial derivatives contracts on who will win the U.S. presidential election, Harris or Trump, and watch as contract prices react to real-time market sentiment.
Ready to pre-game your next big arena event? Head to Beach Hut Deli, a Sacramento tradition for over 40 years, where aloha is served daily. Located just steps away from the arena, whether it's game day or concert night, it's the perfect spot to gather with friends and enjoy amazing sandwiches. Are you planning a bigger get-together? Beach Hut Deli offers endless catering options to bring those delicious flavors to your next party or event. Beach Hut Deli. Good vibes, great food, and epic times await.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote. That's theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
It is time for our top stories at the top of the hour. Let's start here, Chris. So, Chris, this is something that we've gone back and forth on whether or not it's good to bench these guys early. This is something that Adam Schefter worked with Evan Kaplan on. Evan Kaplan, ESPN researcher. Based on history, this looks like the beginning of the end of Anthony Richardson's time in Indianapolis. From 2000 to 2022, there were 66 quarterbacks selected in the first round of the NFL draft, and 25 of those QBs were benched at some point while on their rookie contract. Mitch Trubisky is the only one who started a playoff game or was selected to the Pro Bowl with the team that drafted him after being benched, per ESPN researcher, like I said, Evan Kaplan. So that's what I was saying, man. This is not good for Anthony Richardson. I mean, history is not on his side. Again, I'm not saying this is literally more so about I'm going to still be able to take this organization to new heights. This isn't the same. I'm not talking about the Sam Darnold, Geno Smith path. I'm talking about the typical, I'm going to be the guy for the Colts. History tells us Anthony Richardson will not. And along with that, it would be Bryce Young as well. Pretty nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that I think it's going to happen. I just think that he's so young that, if it is going to happen, I could see it being with a situation like that, where he comes in to the league already so raw and he's so young that, 2-3 years down the line, he's still only going to be 24, 25 years old. That's the part that makes me feel like maybe it still can work out in Indy, though I think it would definitely take, at this point, especially a lot of coming into the same room and acknowledging a lot of faults. I don't think it's going to happen, but I just think that at some point he's going to get another opportunity, and that'll be the ultimate decider of if he's going to be in the NFL for 10 years or if it's just going to be a 5 to 6 year thing, and then he might be right next to Josh Rosen or something. It feels like, the Colts situation might be cooked just because of exactly what you just read, and who knows if they look at a quarterback in this draft, but I Anthony Richardson, maybe Trevor Lawrence would get an answer on this year, but I think Anthony Richardson for me joins the list of people that I probably won't be able to quit for a while.
Major League Baseball investigation recently found a top prospect in the Dominican Republic who had verbally agreed to sign with the Padres, falsified his paperwork, and is 5 years older than previously believed. Hashtag I am 12. Resulting in the agreement being withdrawn, sources told ESPN from
I hope so.
Jorge Castillo and Alden Gonzalez. The teenager who assumed the name Cesar Altagracia verbally agreed to sign with the Padres for about $4 million, a substantial bonus that signified he was considered one of the top international prospects in his class. The transaction would have become official in January 2027 once Altagracia became eligible to sign as a 16-year-old international free agent. But Major League Baseball discovered he is 19 years old, not 14, as his documents stated. The teenager represented the Dominican Republic at the 2022 U12
The U12s?
Baseball World Cup and at the U12 Pan American
Under 12s?
Championships this summer under the false identity, sources said. An MLB spokesman declined to comment. The Padres also declined to comment. The Dominican Baseball Federation is investigating the matter as well, sources said.
That is so under 12.
So I think under 12
in 2022.
So
he was 17
yes.
going against potential 11-year-olds.
Yes.
You're talking about 7th graders.
What position?
Going
what position
against
does
a
he play?
senior in high school, and nobody could tell the difference?
Right. I mean, I need his measurements.
You better look like Jose Altuve.
Yeah, I'm trying
What are we talking about?
I can't find his.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to find his profile here, but I think it's here on Prospect, and now it says no data available. Based on this, he was a shortstop. He's 6 foot 150, and I don't know when this from. I'm on
150. He's 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean, they pop up in Little League all the time.
Yeah, you see Little League. You watch the Little League World Series more than anybody, and you can tell me about the Danny Almontes out there that are mustached up at 12 years old. But
based on this is just the player profile I found from Play PS Baseball. There's not a lot of data available, but if this is the same guy, it says 6 foot, 150 pounder, and he's an infielder. So $4 million. I mean, you lying for $4 million? Figure it out later once that check clears.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the kid's fault or that man's fault. Excuse me, not a kid, a full-blown man at that point. It's not his fault that the Padres were dumb enough to not do the research. I mean, that's crazy.
So here's a picture of him.
Please.
So no facial hair.
Okay, he definitely has a baby face.
He could get
sure has a baby face.
You could pull off 14.
Oh, absolutely. He could definitely pull it off. It reminds me though a little bit of the Buddy Hield story of Buddy being 25 years old, and I had to look it up for a memory refresher. Buddy Hield. It was revealed on Thursday. This was years and years ago. When was this report came out? Let's see here. This report came out all the way back in 2018, if you will take us back. Buddy Hield revealed Thursday he's 26 years old, not 25, the latter of which is listed on the age of the official NBA website. Buddy Hield's answer, quote, "That's their fault, not my fault," Hield said in the mistake. The first time I saw it on Wikipedia, my mom said, "Why do they have your age wrong?" And we just kind of went with it. So Buddy Hield is as well as an example of, I guess, it's not uncommon for these things to happen, but it feels like an age gap of we thought he was 12. Oh no, he's 19.
Yeah.
It's a bit excessive.
That's pretty ridiculous. San Jose Sharks star rookie Macklin Celebrini says he's playing tomorrow versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Well, we love to hear it there coming out of San Jose. Another one, Chris, Michael Thomas has lost his mind. Michael Thomas just letting it all hang out against the New Orleans Saints. He had this to say. Dude, Twitter fingers were going hot and heavy yesterday. Dude tried to lie and say I was jealous of them making Chris Olave, wide receiver 1, the whole time he can't even get him a decent ball, talking about Derek Carr. He needs his blank whooped. That's what Michael Thomas started off saying. He says, dude, scary and panic, just throw the ball, get him the bleep out of here. He's so bleep. Talking about Derek Carr. Derek Carr for you. I told y'all, bleep is sad. Michael Thomas goes on. They fired all them coaches trying to cover his flaws up, and he's still doing the same bleep. Michael Thomas continues. These are all separate tweets, by the way.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas continues.
Unloaded the clip.
The year his buddy went first-team All-Pro in 2022, he needed 180 targets just to catch 100 passes. I think he's talking about Devontae in that season. 100 passes. He is blank on my granny. On his grandmother, he is saying that Derek Carr is very bad. And Derek Carr responded, of course, and said, he said,
very Derek Carr.
Yes.
Sure.
Derek Carr basically just said, hey, he's never
guy.
said anything to me. I didn't think we had a problem. But Michael Thomas, who, Chris, I asked you before the show, what happened to him? He just kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And he was injured so much before he was done that I honestly thought he was still coming back from injury.
I kind of did too this season. I was like fully expecting, week 7, Michael Thomas is going to be the number 1 free agent pickup in all fantasy leagues. And yeah, no, I was a bit surprised to see he's completely out of the league too. He had some years where he was, no joke, full stop, the best receiver in football. I think he set the single season record for most catches in a season. I mean, he was definitely incredibly legitimate. But yeah, it seems like things just fell off a cliff real fast for him. This is nuts, though. I mean, this is fully a guy just saying, I don't care. I mean, at this point, Michael Thomas's career is definitely over at this point because I can't imagine anybody's going to let that guy walk into their locker room again. But, you know, I think that's how a lot of Raider fans felt watching Derek Carr. And he's such an interesting quarterback, like being having to watch a team that had Kirk Cousins as their quarterback for so many years. I think teams or fans of a team of Kirk Cousins eventually end up coming around to he's a good quarterback. He just gets in his way sometimes. Feels like Derek Carr is like the opposite, where it's like the fan bases that have him really seem to say, no, like he is really bad. Like Raider fans, it feels like some people definitely yearn for the Derek Carr days to come back, but on his way out, I remember very vividly Raider fans saying, this guy cannot throw the football, get him out of here.
Yeah, I mean, you lose to the Panthers the way they lost to the Panthers. It's just rough. And in a division where you have an opportunity, it just can't happen. I think Raider fans will always say, I mean, one of my biggest what ifs is what if Derek Carr doesn't break his foot in that 2016 season? He just, you know, it was all good just a couple weeks ago with the Saints.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they were balling. He was doing the Michael Jackson, getting fined in the end zone, and now it just didn't really work out.
Well, people also thought the Saints were like one of the best teams in the league.
They look like it.
Did you guys also see Chris Olave's brother jump in with Michael Thomas to kind of take shots at Derek Carr? Because this was a problem with Jimmy Garoppolo too, those hospital balls.
Yeah.
And kind of blaming him. Just he needs to get out of New Orleans. It just sucks.
Yeah, and it's not going to be Spencer. Spencer Rattler hadn't looked great, but didn't have a lot of weapons either.
When the family gets involved,
it's a mess.
I would be so angry.
And Derek Carr got brothers too, and they talk. So this thing is not
brother.
over.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of David Carr.
Well, there's two of them. There's David Carr, and then there's Darren Carr, I think, and they'll all
Why would
all
you do
talk.
that?
Yeah, he works at State Farm, I think.
David, Darren, and
Darren.
There's so many other names, so many other letters to use.
I love that. Just keep
you're
it
just
going.
like screwing yourself.
Triple D's.
You know, yeah, you had you had 2 kids in the family growing up. How many times would your parents, even though you and your sister could not be more different, how many times would your parents just yell and default and just blow your names together?
Yeah.
I can't imagine with Derek, Darren, and David.
And there might be another one.
Triple D. Come on, what's going on?
There might be another one here.
It's terrible.
Chris, I'll have you and Nate guess this one. The blank are the favorites to land Giannis Antetokounmpo if Milwaukee decides to trade him.
Los Angeles Lakers.
Warriors.
Wrong and wrong.
Thank goodness.
Miami Heat.
It is the Miami
Sacramento
Heat.
Kings.
It is the Miami Heat. Miami Heat plus 150. Brooklyn Nets plus 210. Houston Rockets plus 400. Spurs plus 600. Memphis Grizzlies plus 600. I'm surprised there's not a OKC in there. I mean, they have the assets, so why not? If you were going to blow it up for the Bucks, so don't sleep on that either. That'd be a nightmare for the rest of the league. And last but not least, Chris, I don't know how often we'll have to have these conversations if they will continue to be reported on No Reports. Tom Brady won't be punished for his comments during Sunday's Packers-Lions game, a source told Front Office Sports. The NFL had no issue with Brady's comments after Lions DB Brian Branch was flagged and ejected for hitting Packers wide receiver Bo Melton in the head. So I don't know how long those will be writing articles about that.
What, like, oh my gosh. I really hope that we don't have to every week get an update, like a 2-minute report. Did Tom Brady break his ownership violations this week on the broadcast? I don't care.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a stupid rule that he can't criticize officials anyway.
And it's pretty insane. It's pretty insane too. I don't know. Have you guys seen that commercial? I know we got to get to it, but that commercial where they think you're just a jock collecting a check. He has managed to try to make himself an underdog in the broadcasting world.
Right.
Tom, they gave you $300 million before you said anything. Will you have some shame?
They gave him a year off.
Have some shame, Tom Brady. You kicked Greg Olsen to the curb.
Yeah, poor Greg. Man.
Have some shame, Tom Brady. Around the NFL, when we return, Stiles and Watkins, Sacramento.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
1:30. We preview the Kings and the Miami Heat in the Miami jungle. We just got word. Jaime Jaquez out. Now I'm worried.
He has
Now
no
I'm
stomach bug.
There's something going around.
Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. Full transparency, I was trying to be messy, and I was like, "What are the odds that you think Kevin Huerter, had a night in Atlanta the other day?" And then I realized that it's not even possible because they had to make the overnight flight to Toronto, and so I then started thinking, boy, that was a long plane ride. I wonder if Kevin Huerter was just sick the entire plane. And because we heard that he was going to be ruled out almost immediately come Saturday morning. It must have been really bad. And I know Drapes isn't going to be here until probably Tuesday or Wednesday, but I'm curious if maybe like Kevin was like hacking up a lung or something on the plane, and they knew pretty instantly like this is not going to happen.
Azalea Hathaway on the Sack Chat says rest Fox. There is no way. Okay. No way.
No,
maybe if he didn't lose to the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, they've lost that luxury.
Okay. Now this is a must win. All right. Nate's laughing and shaking his head. Well, I'm just saying. I'd like you to win. That's what it is for me.
Fox doesn't really get rest like that.
None of them do. They're all playing 45 minutes.
Yeah.
They're playing 60 minutes. These guys are playing
right now.
They're still playing
right
now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They're literally
what number?
playing.
Let's do prop talk on minutes.
Let's do it.
Under 40 minutes for
it.
De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis tonight.
I hope under. I really hope under. It's the last leg of
this is not
road trip.
This is actually not sustainable, guys.
No, it's not.
It's
Mike Brown's been critical of himself too early in the season about, I think it was game 3, the first game they won.
Mm-hmm.
He came into the post game and was like, I've been killing these guys out there. He said something along those lines. Like, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but it's also funny because in the preseason you had that thing with Malik Monk where he's like, I think we're just a little tired. And Mike Brown was like, I hope they're not tired. So maybe he's punishing them.
This bench, man. They got to find something, or he just got to trust the bench more, like Lisa was saying. On
Trey Lyles movement.
It's something.
He's not been good.
I have Trey Lyles numbers quickly, then we'll go around the NFL.
He has been.
There might be a different Trey Lyles movement.
6 games.
Movement to the end of the bench.
Moving 6 games.
He's
averaging 3.8 points per game, 3.5 rebounds per game, 0.8 assists per game. He's shooting 25% from the field, 23.8% from 3-point. He's 100% from free throws. Not sure how many he's taken. And that's just not.
Kings are the first in the league.
Not
free
great.
throws.
Look, if we just think it's a small sample size, his career he's averaged 7.7 points a game, total rebounds 4.3, assists 1.1, field goal percentage 44.2, which is what we really think is going to come up along with the 3-point percentage 34.6%. So clearly it's been a rough start for Trey Lyles. I saw somebody earlier on say he's still getting back into playing shape. Well, it's got to happen soon because he's playing a lot of time. Alex Len didn't even play in Toronto.
Yeah. Chris, are you going to amp up this beef with Legion of Losing and start tweeting at him and being like, look how bad Trey Lyles is. Look how good DeMar is.
No, I think Kings fans got that. Legion of Losing.
Let the fans handle
L's.
it.
Yeah,
Plus,
I think
handle it.
I really do think because I also saw another Legion of Losing clip the other day. Actually, it was this morning of him saying Jaylen Brown's the most overrated player in the entirety of the NBA, and was like, he's not even a top 25 player in the. So I'm more saying like, I think this man literally craves attention. Like I feel like it's actually kind of sad, and I'm gonna instead take the high road and just say like, please help that brother out.
The acronym of LOL for him is very
incredible.
fitting.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's perfect. All right, it's time to go around the NFL. That was well done that time, Nate.
Yeah, I don't want, I got Kyle breathing down my neck. He's ready to go. He's Joe Flacco. I'm Anthony Richardson. I'm one tap out away.
That's right. And you do get tired. You do get tired.
I do. I've never been awake.
Dennis Allen. Great last name, by the way. Dennis Allen out in NOLA, out in New Orleans as the Saints head coach. The second time he has been fired. Both times, Derek Carr has been his QB. Coincidence?
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't. That would not happen to me. If you fool me once, I'm not going down with Derek Carr as my quarterback twice. But I guess he really was kind of left with no other option. But that's a very unfortunate stat because you got to feel like if you're a coach, like it's not me, it's him, right? Like you're pointing more so at Derek Carr than yourself.
More Derek Carr Saints news. Saints outgained the Panthers by over 150 yards, ran for over 150 yards, and won the turnover battle. Over the last 20 years, teams had gone 275-0 with that formula. Now, 275-1. That's from Bill Barnwell of ESPN. That's insane, Chris.
That's nuts. That is absolutely insane. It shouldn't happen. And I don't even know how you feel after a win like that. Like I I guess great. And like if you're the Panthers, you take it however you can get it. But if you're the Saints, that's got to be one of the most frustrating losses possibly ever.
Yeah, just bad stuff for the Saints. That'll get you fired.
Yes, it will.
It will.
That will get you fired. That's a great way of putting it.
Last week we asked the question: Who will be the first coach? The next coach fired. I
don't
think any of us said Dennis Allen.
No, and we should have. We really should have.
It
should be Mike McCarthy,
right? But in the South, you can just always fall into a playoff run.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, they played so well the first couple weeks that it kind of seemed crazy that they would just flip on their heads like this, but I don't think they're wrong for firing him. I just didn't see it coming.
With the Panthers beating the Saints, Derek Carr becomes the first QB to start in losses versus 31 NFL teams.
So it's just the Raiders then, right?
Yeah, he's
missing,
and he could. He could lose to the Raiders.
They don't play.
I believe they do.
They do play the Raiders week 16.
Oh man, I hope he's still quarterbacking.
Sorry, second to last week of the season. How many weeks? Is there 18 weeks now? 17.
18
week 17, they play the Raiders.
Oh my God. That is going to be must-see TV.
In New Orleans.
Yep.
First quarterback to lose to every team?
Well, will Derek Carr be playing probably at that point?
He has to. They're paying him.
Might be your boy Spencer Rattler time at that point.
This be his last year in the league, Derek Carr?
Oh, no. He'll be a backup. Somewhere.
They owe him
He's
money.
such a great guy.
They owe him a lot of money.
It just depends on health.
Well, I just mean last season start.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. There's no way. I mean, the Raiders aren't going to give him a job. Maybe the Colts will. I don't know. He feels like he can maybe be that Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco.
He's
maybe Cleveland.
Dude,
who knows?
Colts QB since Andrew Luck just been so. Philip Rivers came in there for a while. They thought Brissett.
Remember
Matt Ryan? You're so right.
Minshew last year.
Wasn't there a Philip Rivers thing for the Niners?
Yeah,
that was Brock Purdy got injured.
Yeah. That's right.
It would have been nice to have him there against the Eagles.
Those
just to have someone who could.
Was that Josh Johnson?
Oh no, wasn't that what the report was? Was that if the Niners went to the Super Bowl, he was prepared to call Philip Rivers? To play the Super Bowl.
And I think he was already like a year and a half retired at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Whatever.
Panthers got caught testing their crowd noise. So there is a report that the Panthers were ushering in crowd noise and they got caught testing it at 8 a.m. They're going to get in trouble for this. I mean, I know Seattle people think that Seattle was doing it, but I don't know. This is just Nate, you sent this to me via Reddit. I don't know what to do with this.
You're allowed to pump in crowd noise, but there's a certain decibel level that you're allowed to pump it at. So it's fine to technically pump in crowd noise, but you just can't do it to an excessive level.
And it has happened where you lose draft picks to the Falcons. They've done it.
And last but not least, obviously this is a radio show, but go check it out during the break here in about 1 minute because Saquon Barkley hit what I'm calling the Spidey sense hurdle because he was backwards and just somehow knew how to hurdle, Chris. It was insane. I didn't see it live, but I mean, it's one of the most incredible feats of athleticism I think I've ever seen.
It's insane. I mean, it's one of those things where we have played a lot of football in our country's history, and I've never once, not even a single time, seen anybody even consider doing it. And he executed it perfectly. I think a Spider-Man or a Spidey sense hurdle is a perfect name for it because he looked like Spider-Man. He spread his legs and it looked like he literally knew that a car was flying behind him and he had to dodge it. It was incredible. And I mean, for people who were wondering if Saquon Barkley was deserving of that early pick and everything like that, what we've seen so far this season from Saquon is the guy we expected to see his entire career. And maybe it's a sign of how just terrible that Giants organization is.
Isn't it insane he had that touchdown catch, right? That was their first point scored in the first quarter this year, the Eagles. An over-the-shoulder catch, right in the bread. Just beautiful, everything. Beautiful route. But he couldn't catch that, that first down, that easy.
Right.
Such a funny game this is.
What he's doing, I mean, people can do it with, how Kittle's been playing. But if it's season to season, I mean, he's probably – there's Derrick Henry. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey takes a break for the top running back conversation specifically this season, but he's just battling it out with Derrick Henry, and both these guys are just ridiculous.
I think Derrick Henry might have Offensive Player of the Year locked in.
The way they are rolling right now, and we didn't even talk. We'll do our NFL Blitz tomorrow. But yeah, Broncos got smacked by the Ravens, 41-burger. All right, we preview Kings versus Heat, prop talk, dog segment when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Catch all the action at Sky River Casino. Enjoy over 80 table games, more than 2,100 slot machines, and a thrilling high-limit room. Plus, with 18 elevated restaurants, bars, and lounge destinations, and Sky River rewards that add up and up. There's something for everyone. Just minutes from Sacramento, right off Highway 99 in Elk Grove. Join in the fun and experience new heights. Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Don't miss Stoney's Rockin' Radio's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night with a free tri-tip dinner. That's right, free tri-tip dinner and free late-night biscuits and gravy. So don't miss Stoney's 17-year anniversary bash this Saturday night, plus free dance lessons, sing some karaoke, or ride Stoney's mechanical ball. I'll see you on the dance floor.
Mita Chevy saves you $8,000 off MSRP on every new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT, RST, LTZ, and High Country in stock after rebates. All of them.
Silverado savings on now at MetaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers, a plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage. Breathe easy.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
All right, Chris, what do we got today as we preview the Kings versus the Miami Heat?
Miami.
Hey, he's going up against an elite coach here. What's Mike Brown going to be able to do? That's what somebody on the text line said earlier, coming off a bad loss.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, the Heat are going to be without a pretty important player. Jaime Jaquez is going to be out with a stomach illness today. Questionable Kevin Huerter still is. So we'll see if he's going to play, though it does seem as if just from all the talk this morning of is Colby Jones going to start, is he not going to start? And also we heard Chris Biederman say that Kevin Huerter was in warm-ups this morning and then had to leave. And so that doesn't seem like it's trending in a positive direction. But for what it's worth, Kevin Huerter listed as questionable for tonight. Jaime Jaquez out. Miami's offensive rating is 19th in the NBA. Again, like we talked about earlier, this is kind of what they do. Very middling offense with a fairly elite defense this year. They're 9th in defensive rating so far. You listed some of their wins and losses, or their wins and losses this year so far. Wins against the Hornets, Pistons, Wizards, losses to the Magic and the Knicks. I think that definitely symbolizes just where the Heat have been this season. They haven't exceeded expectations, but on the same token, they definitely haven't been bad by any stretch. I think the most important thing from Miami is just how they've gotten it done. Alan, I won't ask you exactly what you think it is, but what would you assume the two Miami Heat leading scorers on the season would be?
I would say, I don't know, Tyler Hero and Bam.
That would be a good assumption. There's also Jimmy Butler is a decent shout. Yeah. You got the Tyler Hero part right. He's averaging 20 points per game, 48%, 43% from three. He's been lights out. Unfortunately, really nobody else has. Their second leading scorer this season, Terry Rozier, 17 points per game, shooting 40% from the field, 42% from three. Bigger point is Jimmy Butler and Bam have just been outright disappointing to start the year. It's not that they've been bad. Bam actually had a really good game in their last game, but that was definitely his best performance of the year so far. Jimmy's at 17 a game, and Bam is at 15 a game. Bam is the really concerning one, shooting under 44% from the field, 23% from three on 2.5 attempts. After this summer, that was the entire talk of Miami was, Eric Spoelstra is supposed to be this great coach. Why is he holding Bam Adebayo back, not letting him shoot threes? He's knocking down threes with the Olympic team. Why don't they have him shoot with Miami? He's shooting 23% so far this year. It just has not looked how it has traditionally looked with Bam. Also, Bam has not been passing the ball to nearly the same effect this year. 2.8 assists for Bam so far this year, where typically he's right there with Sabonis, clear near the 5 or clearing 5 assists per game usually for Bam Adebayo. So the big news is the main guys that you would typically expect for Miami have not been the ones doing it this year. Tyler Hero, absolutely on fire. Have to figure out how to slow him down. He's really the key to if Miami is going to put up 115, 120, it's going to be because of a big night from either Tyler Hero or Terry Rozier. So shut those guys down, and I think you have a really good chance at winning tonight.
Yeah, I know whenever we're talking about Jimmy Butler these days, it feels like we're talking about Jimmy as far as getting traded, not really what he's doing on the basketball court. We know he's such a gamer that it's more so about when they get into the dog days of the season and then into the playoffs. But yeah, a game like this feels like this is a great opportunity for the Kings to come and sneak one before Miami really gets rolling. Doesn't really seem like Miami has a full-on identity yet. Maybe the Kings don't either, but I think they have more of an identity than the Heat so far.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Miami's always going to be a tough opponent. You kind of know what to expect from them. Again, a hard-nosed team, a team that's not going to give you anything early. They're going to be really organized. And please, tonight, if the Kings are surprised by Miami running a zone,
oh man,
I don't even know what to say. I mean, there's no excuse. You know it's coming. You know it's going to happen. You have to be prepared for it. The Kings haven't looked amazing so far this season when facing a zone. They kind of struggled to get stops last time they tried to run it for a long or go against it for a long time. They struggled to get points, but hopefully they can figure it out this time. Again, it should be no surprise that Miami's going to do it, and hopefully with good mid-range scorers and good passers on the floor, hopefully that can get Miami out of that zone pretty quickly. But that's the one thing that you definitely have to look out for Miami is they're going to play a zone defense that's going to at least slow the game down quite a bit.
Yeah, and really for me, Chris, I'm looking at what the Kings have done so far and the 3-point percentage, because when you run a zone, you're kind of saying, hey, you can shoot us.
Go ahead.
If you want. And I'm looking at Keegan Murray. I'm looking at De'Aaron Fox, who coming off a 0 for 11 night. That first three he takes, I'm gonna take a deep breath, Chris, because I know that we're all gonna just be sitting there saying, okay, what's this gonna look like? And are they gonna be able to, get what they need out of him? I'm looking here, Chris, just at some of the totals and what the Kings have been doing so far. I mean, they're shooting 32% from three this season. That's not very good. So if you're the Heat, you're saying you'll live with it and just and hope for the best and hope this isn't the game that they do get hot. Maybe that Miami Heat will help them out, Chris.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm looking at it. Miami has the 4th slowest pace in the entirety of the NBA, so they really walk the ball down. They're going to get into a lot of half-court sets. Defensively, you have to make sure you're on your ones, and hopefully you can get them out in transition and just get them uncomfortable, get them playing at a pace that they're not used to. And I fully believe that if the Kings can dictate the pace tonight, there really is no excuse for them to lose. I mean, I think obviously Miami's a really, really tough team, but if you're playing at the high pace, up and down offense that the Kings have played in the past, I think Miami doesn't stand a shot. They really start to get into it. Again, if you slow the ball down, start to get messy with your turnovers, start to overthink things, second guess, this is really where a night like tonight, you don't want to see Domantas Sabonis hesitate on any of his jumpers. He's been so good about it this year. Tonight is more so a night where you need Domas to, if he is going to take those mid-ranges, if he is going to take those threes, let him fly, man. Don't have any hesitation.
Yeah, do you think that there will be any change here, Chris? We've talked a lot about Trey Lyles, and everybody knows that he needs to play better. We got to do this on the other side, but with Whitey as well. But I'm trying to figure out what we're going to get. I was looking at the totals. Jordan McLaughlin hasn't even taken a three. We talk so much about his ability to shoot the basketball, and I'm throwing you a grenade here because I know we got to get to it on the other side. But when we are joined with Whitey, I want to get your thoughts on McLaughlin and how the Kings can maybe get a little bit more from him. All right, let's have some crosstalk. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
The holidays can be tough for some, especially if things from your past are still following you around to this day. Now, don't be afraid of your past this upcoming holiday season, as an expungement can help. And that's where the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez comes in, as he's local and has a great track record. Now that expungement can help you get a job, get your life back in order, and you'll also get your constitutional rights back. He's offering discounts on expungements now through Christmas. Call 916-304-9187. That's 916-304-9187.
Rod Thomas, a special intimate performance.
I don't wanna be lonely no more. I don't wanna have to pay for
benefiting Sidewalk Angels Foundation. One night only, Saturday, November 16th, the venue of Thunder Valley. Rod Thomas, live. For tickets now, visit ThunderValleyResort.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Facts are facts, and the facts show that for eliminating hip, knee, back, leg, and foot pain, it's the Good Feet personalized arch support system, clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet arch supports are designed to help put your feet and whole body back in pain-relieved proper alignment. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book your free fitting at Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela. Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
The presidential general election is November 5th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Whitey Gleason joins us. Gonna get Whitey into the mix here, but Chris, real quick, we have a lot. Well, yeah, we got to figure this out because we still got to do prop talk.
Yes,
picks are more important.
We got to do picks as well. But Chris, real quick, your thoughts on what I had said. It's still early on, but the returns from Jordan McLaughlin, not exactly what I was expecting or hoping for, but it's still early.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is he hasn't really played at all. I mean, he's played in, I think, 2 games so far, and I don't really even know if you could say it's been a fair shake in those 2 games. Let's see here. It's technically been 4 games, I guess, that he's played, that he's gotten minutes in, but it's been no longer than 5 minutes, 12 seconds. The Toronto game was his longest run of the season. I haven't been super impressed by what I've seen so far. He does look really, really small out there, which I think is pretty disappointing. I think you hope to lose Davion and then get hopefully like a bigger, more realized version of Davion. And I don't really see much of any difference from Davion. If not, he might even be a little bit less skilled. So I think that's been pretty disappointing. Is I don't really know where it feels like Jordan McLaughlin is going to get his. Yeah, I don't think he can create his own shot, and it feels like he's being asked to come in and essentially be a backup facilitator. And it doesn't feel like he's being asked to even look for his shot really.
No, it has not been great when he has played. So it's kind of a chicken or the egg thing where it's okay. Well, he hasn't looked good, but at the same time, he hasn't played a ton. I mean, he hasn't even scored a basket yet. So let's see what happens there. All right, Nate, I know you want to get to it. Our picks for tonight. So you said you're done, Nate, or you have a chance?
Nate's cooked.
I'm out this week. It's between you two. You're both tied. So I'd say you guys have to make different choices here.
Why?
It's more fun.
I'll go Bucks. I'll do it. I'll jump out on that.
And I've gone against the Chiefs. This is going to be the 1 week.
You're going to go for the Chiefs.
Well, if you're going Bucks, I'll go.
You
Chiefs.
can, if you want to take the Bucks, you can definitely have.
You already.
I will take the 7-0 Chiefs if you don't want to take them.
I'll take the Chiefs.
Okay, I'll take the Bucks then. There you go. There we have it. Nate, did you give yourself a win for the tie call? Because I was thinking about it, and you should probably at least get a point for calling a regulation tie.
I did not.
Okay.
But that was crazy.
No, it was insane. It was absolutely insane. For those who weren't listening, Nate, as a way of weaseling out of having to pick one of the Rams or Seahawks on Friday, Nate said that game would end in a tie, and it was way, way too close to being actually a tie. So there you go.
All right, quickly, we'll just do prop talk for the Kings, guys, and I have one of the most interesting props ever. De'Aaron Fox, 2.5 threes. He's either going to obliterate it, or you should
sold that so much.
Or you should
the most interesting prop.
I
ever.
mean, it's actually kind of crazy. He's only gone over out of his last couple games here.
You're taking the over?
Hold on. The Lakers, he made 3. Blazers, he made 2. Utah, he made 1. Hawks, he made 4. Raptors, 0. I feel like you can't take that over. I think he just gets back to basics today. I think he makes maybe 2 threes. I'm taking De'Aaron Fox under 2.5 threes. Or he's going to make 7. One of the two. But I'm saying under 2.5 threes.
Okay, well, I'm going to look at Keegan Murray over, I believe it was 14 points, if I'm not mistaken here. Keegan Murray in his career so far has absolutely dominated the Miami Heat. He averages the most points against the Heat than any other team in the NBA for Keegan Murray. 22 a game he averages against Miami. He has absolutely lit it up. So I'm going Keegan Murray over 14 points against the Miami Heat. 22.5 he's averaged over 4 games so far.
What do you think it is? The zone?
It could be. It could definitely be that. The fact that you get so many open looks with a zone. You're going to get a lot of perimeter looks. Keegan so far has put up 22 points, 7 points, 33 points, and 28 points against the Miami Heat. So last year, he really, really cooked them, 33 and 28. His rookie season, 22 and 7 points against the Heat. So it feels like 14 should be an easy one for him to clear.
Nate?
Sabonis combined rebounds and assists set at 19.5. I'm taking the over. I think he's got at least 12 rebounds. Probably another triple-double tonight.
Ooh.
Against Adebayo.
Yeah, Sabonis doesn't care.
Damn.
Sabonis doesn't care. Whitey, the biggest question we have for you, should De'Aaron have taken that shot or thrown it to Malik?
Oh, he has to take it. It's a wide open shot.
He's got to.
Yeah.
He's got to. That's what I'm saying, Whitey. That's what me and you were always here, man.
Got to pull the trigger. That's why you're out there.
But that stupid extra dribble. Can't take that dribble.
Was the ball tipped or not?
Doesn't matter. Shouldn't have shot it. Should have passed.
Cold bumps or goosebumps?
Yeah, why do you say cold bumps, right?
No. I've never heard of that in my life.
Never. Not once.
neither.
Not once in
Never
my
heard
life.
of that. That's the first
bumps.
time.
Is that Jay? Is that Jay?
Jay has also not
Jay,
heard
you
of
heard
cold bumps.
when you get cold, you go cold bumps. Thank you. Jay just nodded his head. He might just be nice.
He said no.
You said yes.
You didn't give him the options. You didn't give him the other options.
Oh, goosebumps. But
yeah.
Goosebumps. Yeah, cold bumps.
R.L. Stein. What's the name of R.L. Stein's book?
That's what I said.
I know. Either Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark? Both were classiques. Whitey, we're trying to figure out this bench situation with the Kings and who's going to get more time. I mean, you look at the Raptors, who aren't good, but they played 10 guys. They all played double-digit minutes. And only RJ Barrett played 40 minutes and 40 on the nose. The Kings, they play, 8 guys, and one of those guys was McLaughlin, who played about 3 minutes. What are they going to do with this bench?
It's a good question. I know a lot of people are upset with Mike Brown a little bit. I did some digging, and we know that the Kings starters, they played a lot last year. They played a lot of minutes. That's what they do. But right now, the Kings have 3 guys in the top 10 in minutes per game. Nobody else has more than 1. Kings have 4 in the top 12. So they're playing a ton of minutes. And Mike Brown even said when they beat Portland, he said, I'm killing our guys. I'm killing them. And so I know fans are saying, oh, what's wrong? But I just think there's anybody on the bench that he trusts, and I can see why right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, we have people texting us saying, like, he's got to trust the bench. He's got to go to it. And it's like, well, who exactly do you want him to go to? Is it more McLaughlin minutes? Is it just hey, I want to see Keon getting more minutes? I don't really know where it is because he's playing Trey Lyles a ton. He's not playing Alex Len a ton of minutes, but I don't think people want to see more Alex Len. I don't really know where the spot he goes. I think just some of the bench players, specifically Trey Lyles, needs to play better. And I think it goes a long way if Trey goes from 2 to 3 points to his 7 or 8 every single night. I mean, he's shooting terribly right now. And I just think if Trey goes back to a little bit more average, if he can be, 4 of 7 on most nights, I just think that we probably don't even think about talking about the bench. Not that it would be great, but just it would be an average bench. And I think that's all we really need from this team right now.
I agree with you. I think the bench is not even average.
No.
They'd have to improve from this point to be an average bench.
Worst offensive rating amongst any bench in the NBA. Second best defensive rating, though. Second best defensive rating. So again, that's what I have said, though, is that I think that the bench, especially at this point so far throughout the year, is just about not losing the minutes. It's just about going out there and fitting in with the starting rotation and really just buying time for the starters to check back in. And that's not ideal, but I do think at the very least, if that's what they're being asked to do, they are doing a pretty decent job of at least holding those leads while the starters are out.
Yeah, They've only played 6 games, so obviously a lot of the numbers are really skewed, and things will normalize. So you can't leap to any conclusions based on the numbers through 6 games. But if you just look at the offensive rating and the defensive ratings individually for the Kings, and you start to look at the bench, which again, it's all out of whack, but you'll do some double takes. I'll tell you that. Because they're some of those guys are a little upside down in their defensive ratings right now.
Yeah, and you just look around and try to figure out, all right, who's gonna step up and when is it going to happen? Did you find we went back and forth on whether the Raptors game was a schedule loss or not, or a trap game, if you will?
What
would you put it in the Are you putting it in the category of the Hornets loss and the Blazers loss of last season? Losses like that, the Pistons loss.
I don't know about that. Maybe not that bad, but it's a bad loss.
Yeah.
And they squandered many, many opportunities to win it. Yeah. And they turned the ball over, and we all saw the game. Yeah, that was a bad loss.
It's a bad loss.
I don't know about a scheduled loss or a trap game.
Yeah, they can make up for it today in a way if they do get it done against the Miami Heat. And look, this is Spoelstra. A lot of people were giving heat to Mike Brown. A lot of people were giving heat to De'Aaron Fox. Folsom Mike says if it went in, no one would have said to pass it to Monk, but yeah, he could have passed. But both options were good options. He just got to make it.
One's a better option.
If you're De'Aaron Fox, though, and you get that shot, you have to take it.
You have to take it, Chris.
Why do you have to take it?
Because that's why you're on the floor. All I'm saying is that's why you're on the floor. And
I think he's on the right, but he didn't make the right play is my problem.
But he was open, though.
Yes, he was open, but that doesn't mean that you can be open and still swing the ball over. You could still, it's the right basketball play to swing the ball, in my opinion, especially when you have a shooter next to you and you're 0 of 10 and you yourself are not a shooter.
I personally think that Malik would have been a little bit surprised if he got that ball. I think that, and maybe it's
he was asking, but yeah, he looked surprised he didn't get the ball. He stood there for like 3 seconds after
Malik
he
is
shot.
never going to be surprised when he gets the ball.
I just think that it's and maybe it's an NBA world. I don't want to say NBA society type thing. And we talked about this, Chris. De'Aaron has to take it, even if it's not. We'll talk about it. Hopefully they can just get this W tonight and we can forget all about it because they'll still be on track to the 8-3, Chris. It's not cooked yet. But they got to win. Well, we know the Drive guys got you up until game time. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to our callers, texters, sack chatters. Thank you to Nate as well. Got some Monday Night Football as well. But we know that it's time to secure the bag.